when you need it.
When the summer is cooking, we're the place to be looking.
dayandnight.net.
Stay cool this summer with Day and Night. Call now to get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
dayandnight.net.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
If you're traveling through the SCA airport this summer, use the new Security Checkpoint 1 at the south end of baggage claim. Just one of the many upgrade SCA projects taking your airport from now to wow. Stay up to date on all airport projects by following @FlySEA.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump announces a 90-day negotiating period with Mexico after a call with the country's president. 25% tariff rates stay in place for now, at least. Tomorrow is his tariff deadline for most nations. Trump has threatened Canada with trade repercussions for moving to recognize a Palestinian state. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is not far from the Canadian border in Buffalo.
Pumping out IPAs, shandies, and stouts at Resurgence Brewing Company is costing owner Jeff Ware much more than it did a year ago because of tariffs on Canadian goods.
We get a lot of our grain from Canada, and then most of our aluminum, if not all of our aluminum, comes from Canada.
And one thing he didn't anticipate, Canadians upset with the trade war who no longer cross the border.
Probably 15 to 25% down year over year. Oh, I never thought that angry Canadians was going to be something that we had to put on the list of things to discuss at our management meetings.
There's a hearing in Kerr County, Texas today about the July 4th flooding that claimed at least 136 lives. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says it's the start of a long process of figuring out what contributed to the deaths and what can be done about it.
We will pass bills dealing with the immediacy of things that we can address now, but we will be doing this in the next session and the session after that.
Police in Arkansas have arrested a 28-year-old teacher in connection with the murder of a couple who were walking in a state park with their young daughters. The children got away safely. CBS's Jim Crisula has more on a tragic mystery.
4 family members were found murdered execution style in a wooded area of rural northwestern Tennessee after their baby girl was mysteriously abandoned in a car seat on a stranger's front lawn in 100-degree heat. Amy Anderson is a family friend.
It's tearing everybody apart. Everybody don't know what to think. There's been rumors.
The baby's 20-year-old mother, 21-year-old father, 38-year-old grandmother, and 15-year-old uncle were discovered dead.
Now to the Middle East. CBS's Deborah Patta reports on a new analysis that could spark more controversy and finger-pointing about the situation in Gaza.
In a new report published by a respected medical journal, The Lancet, a group of health professionals said it was time to break the silence on genocide. Their findings, made since October 7, 2023, are damning. Life expectancy has reportedly fallen by 35 years. Gaza has the highest number of child deaths of any conflict zone, and the report concludes starvation has been relentlessly used as a weapon of war.
Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 20 points. The S&P is up 34. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Someone is deliberately setting fires in Seattle. The story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, your break on I-405 is over. Tolls are back up to $15. This follows an earlier glitch that had the ride a freebie this morning. We are still waiting for the commute overall to wind down. A reminder that you have 2 lanes closed on I-5 northbound at the Ship Canal Bridge due to construction. The express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound trip. Travel time, Linwood to Seattle on I-5 south, 52 minutes. That's 13 longer than usual. Travel time, Alderwood to South Center on I-405 south is 76 minutes, about 10 longer. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. There's growing concern that a prolific arsonist is at work in Seattle. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin is in Beacon Hill, where a 2-alarm fire started in a detached garage this morning.
It was towards the back side of the house in the backyard, according to a neighbor. He said that he saw flames shooting out of the house. It was just upgraded to a 2-alarm response, which means they did need to bring in backup. This is the 5th fire in this area just since Saturday. Those previous fires are all being investigated as arson, according to Seattle police. It is unclear at this time if this fire is connected to any sort of situation like that.
There have been no arrests. The man accused of shooting a Lummi Nation police officer Monday is now charged with attempted murder. Jesus Peruelas Agramon is a convicted felon wanted out of Colorado. Whatcom County Sheriff Donnell Tanksley says they recovered a gun and shell casings at the scene.
The firearm that was recovered is a stolen firearm from a Whatcom County resident.
Police say Agramon had driven into a ditch and the officer was trying to help him when Agramon opened fire, shooting the cop multiple times. A convicted rapist with a long rap sheet accidentally released on bail by the King County courts. Casey McNerney with the prosecutor's office tells KTTH's Jason Rance that under the law, he should have been placed on a no bail hold.
It's the responsibility of all parties to make sure that the law is followed in the courtroom.
There is now a warrant out for his arrest. The city of Seattle plans to open 100 new tiny homes in 2 villages this fall in an effort to house the homeless. Mayor Bruce Harrell says the communities that will provide on-site services will be funded by nearly $6 million that was included in the city's 2025 budget. He says community outreach will be done to determine exactly where to put those new tiny home villages. The Seattle Mariners make a massive move to bolster their roster, and his name is familiar.
Hey, Eugenio!
Eugenio Suarez was a fan favorite during his time in Seattle, and this season he is one of the best batters in baseball with 36 home runs and 87 RBIs. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to all of you. Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe-Russell is in for G. Good morning, Angela.
Hey, good morning, Ursula. Good to be with you.
It's going to be another very packed show, as we always try to bring you. And we always invite you to join us on our text line, which is one of our favorite things to do. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Also want to say welcome to all of you who watch the show on YouTube. We have a growing community there, and we sure appreciate you as well. This is a story that you brought to our attention, Angela. Shelters all across Washington are filling up as more owners are realizing, you know what, I'm just not ready for the responsibility or the cost. It's just getting too expensive. It's not all tail wags and Instagram reels. Angela, you and I are putting together a simple checklist, what to ask yourself before you bring home a pet.
Yes.
And once I started asking these questions, I was thinking, why did I end up with a pet? You know, if you ask some of those tough questions, maybe it's not a good idea right now.
Yeah, sometimes it's a heart decision, right?
Yes.
And there's some realities.
Exactly. Well, let's get to it. Our top story is brought to you by Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn. If you've been speeding through highway work zones, you are not alone, and the state has the receipts. In just 90 days, Washington's new work zone speed camera program has already flagged more than 7,500 drivers for going too fast through active construction zones. And while the first ticket is a freebie for now, the fines are apparently piling up for repeat offenders, and we have some of those. Sully is here, our transportation expert. Give us the breakdown.
Yeah. About 262 people out of that nearly 7,600 folks have gone through multiple times. And yeah, the first one is free. I've never really understood that when the legislation came out and went active. Is like, well, if you really want to make the point, all 7,600 people here should have gotten dinged with something.
Yeah, nail them now.
Something so we can stop the behavior. Because last year there were 1,300 some odd crashes in work zones around the state. I mean, that's everything from people just driving into a zone where there's nobody there, they crash, or driving into one of those attenuator trucks, or driving into people, their injuries, their deaths. And something's got to nip this in the bud. And most of it is related to what? Speeding. Distraction, impairment, and things like that. And again, the common suspects. And so, but yeah, the first one is free, but yeah, 7,600 people hopefully will get the message. And the thing about this that's interesting is these are mobile. They're small little camera, mounted to a little trailer. They can drag them out to any work zone anywhere on WashDOT property right now on any state highway, and set them up in a work zone. And they could be there one day and gone the next. And, there's signage. Could be a little better. I've driven through them. Signage could be better, more than just one little sign. But they've got 5 of them. I think not all 5 are active, but they move it around all over the place, so you don't know. They're nailing people, and something's got to be done. I mean, you got to pay attention. These people are doing a job for us. We got to make sure they get home.
Yes, and I agree with that. I just want to play devil's advocate from one point of view. So let me be clear. I'm generally not a huge camera person, but
me neither.
It gets annoying. It's like you want to just watch me do everything, don't you? In this case, I'm absolutely for it. The thing I'm concerned about is sometimes the way these construction sites are set up, it is so confusing. It makes no sense. And so, yes, speeders get them, but I'm just wondering how many people are being dinged because and it's not only signage. I mean, it's like the engineering of the way they put these things. You're like, where am I supposed to be right now?
I understand that confusion.
I can see that too.
I understand that confusion, Angela. But the speeding?
Totally, yes. Get the speed.
If you're confused, you should be slowing down anyway.
Slowing down, exactly, yeah. And the other part I wanted to ask you, though, I cannot remember any summer since I've been here where I have dealt with more construction zones. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but it just feels like everywhere I go.
I think what's happening this particular summer, last summer or so, is that a lot of these mega projects that we're doing are coming toward their end. Right? They're in the process of widening 405. That should be done next year. That's corresponding right as they just finished Montlake and are about to start going from Montlake over Portage Bay. There are a lot of things that have been happening that are coming towards their end. And so they're racing at the same time for the good weather because there's certain things you can do in good weather that you can't in the fall, primarily the asphalting, the paving, the striping, the stuff that comes last. And so they can't really do, so everyone's trying to do that at the same time. But you're right.
Like
there are times, we had 3 freeways shut down for a weekend.
Yes.
And there was supposed to be 4 that weekend, but they called one off. So you're not wrong, but I think it's just kind of where we are in the scheduling.
Okay, so the ticket, you get a freebie first time. Second time is how much?
$248.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah, okay. So they're kind for the first one.
There's some pain there.
Where was the state DOT being really kind about 405 southbound this morning? What was happening there?
No, they were not. Early this morning, people started telling me that I started confirming from pictures from our listeners and from what I saw that the express toll lanes on 405 were free. All the signs said free, like it looks like on the weekend. And I was thinking, hooray, WashDOT has finally answered our prayers, because I've been asking WashDOT and Good to Go over the last 2 weeks of the first 2 weeks of hell with the close. Like, can you waive those tolls because people who are trying to avoid I-5 are driving into 405 and now they're stuck in something and they're having to pay the max toll if they want to get in there. So no, this was a malfunction of some kind. That one corridor was malfunctioning because they were still charging tolls on 405 northbound and on 167 north and south. But for some reason, the tolls and the signs were not working from Linwood down into Bellevue.
So it was a gift.
So it was kind of a gift today, but it was a malfunction. And in fact, wait a minute, just as of a few minutes ago.
It's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often. And only when it really has to.
We've hit the $15 max on southbound 405 again, which it should have been all morning long, basically.
He plays that because that's someone from Department.
That's Debbie Young,
Yes.
who was the chair of the Washington State Transportation Commission when they were setting tolls a couple years ago.
Yeah, it
I
was
know.
never going to hit the max.
And yet it hits it every day, like clockwork.
Wow. Well,
I laugh,
you're
but that's
keeping the
ridiculous.
receipts.
Yeah,
and
I feel
love it.
bad for Debbie because, but again, she's a public official. She said it, and it's
Yes.
got to become our mantra. But no, it was a glitch. They're not waiving any of the tolls going forward. We're not exactly sure what happened, but whatever it was fixed just before 9, and the pay is on.
Okay, and just so I'm clear, a $15 max is getting hit all the time?
Every day. Not all day. I mean, the average toll on that corridor is, I'm guessing, probably $6, $7, maybe even less than that. But during the morning commute, it is $15 almost every day. If you check on my computer, or I make a note almost every day of where we are and why, and it averages about 72% of the mornings we're hitting, maybe not on Fridays, some Mondays we don't, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day, $15.
Ouch.
We're in the majority of the morning.
I know.
And the thing is, on that corridor, you're going the same speed as everyone who didn't pay $15 because there just isn't the capacity there. So you don't even save any time during most of the morning.
Sully, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just remember the Blue Angels are coming, so today's fun. Distraction.
Oh, my God. By the way, and we are going to talk about that because you and I love the Blue Angels.
We do.
The traffic is a little tough. When are they coming?
First practice, I think, at 11.
Okay.
They don't shut I-90 down
They don't
anymore, so
yes.
that shouldn't be an issue. Just
Yes.
imagine if we were shutting down I-90 with what's going on I-5 today.
We don't want that. No. Okay, thanks, Sully.
ya.
A Bremerton mom is suing the Port of Bremerton after a terrifying encounter with a river otter on the Marina docks. Traven Schiffner says she and her 2-year-old daughter were walking from their liveaboard boat on a dock last September when the otter attacked and bit and scratched both of them, but then dragged her toddler into the water. And she was able to rescue her daughter, but she says that otter continued to go after them aggressively even after they got back on the dock. And now she is filing a lawsuit claiming that the port knew the otters were a problem. She says they've been given repeated complaints from tenants and staff about the animals being aggressive. And she says they've damaged property, they poop on the docks, they even live in abandoned boats. And according to her lawsuit, the port just didn't do enough to trap those animals and warn residents or even restrict access to that stretch of dock. In a statement, the port's CEO says safety remains a top priority, but he can't comment any further because of this lawsuit. So my question is, should the port be held responsible for wild animal attacks, or is this what you risk the possibility of if you live that close to the water or on the water?
Honestly, I do think there's some liability. We've had these debates. I can't remember what month it was this year, but I want to say there's a space over in Ballard where the otters gather, and it was this whole thing about what to do. If this, I've never been to this location where it happened. Never been to the location where this happened, but if this was a known space where these things were happening, there should have, and she's saying there was no warning sign, right? Was there a warning?
Well, that's what she's claiming. And I guess if she can prove that, I could see where she would have something. My other part, though, is, and this falls under the whole idea of if you live where wild animals are, or like you live on a dock, you live in an area, you're on a boat, and you know that there is a possibility of that, how much responsibility should be on the port? How much responsibility should be you? Is this one of those things? Again, I think it would matter if she can prove, hey, we have said repeatedly that, and there's no warning signs. Mm-hmm. But she's been living aboard this boat with her child.
Because we do it, if you think about in just neighborhood. So let's get away from the water for a minute. If for some reason neighbors know, let's say there's been forgive me for getting the names of the animals wrong, but what are the animals? The coyotes, for example.
Oh gosh, yes.
If we have
everywhere.
an idea that there are some coyotes wandering this neighborhood, there's an expectation that we can call a government agency and they're going to maybe pursue it out of safety, right?
Well, to some extent, but I mean, I share the story of me walking around the Sandpoint golf course community there, walking my dog Scooter and encountering a coyote. And yeah, there have been reports of coyotes, but I don't blame them for this coyote essentially chasing us.
You don't blame them, but if that, let's say there have been reports about there being a coyote problem, isn't there animal control to come in? And if they decided that they're just going to take a hands-off approach,
yes,
could you then, as a resident, say you guys didn't do enough as a government to protect us despite the complaints? So I guess that's a debate.
Yeah, it is. I'm curious what you all think as you're listening. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I mean, as a public agency, the port could claim partial immunity because this is a natural hazard beyond their control. I mean, these are possible. I was trying to think of what possible arguments could the port have. I mean, I am sympathetic to the mom and the child.
I know you are. Yeah, you're just looking at the merits of the law. Of when is someone liable for something naturally that occurs?
Yes. And or is this something that you expect because you're living on the water, and unfortunately there are river otters there as well. Yeah. I mean, I know they get very aggressive. They're cute, but they get very aggressive.
And I used to sing songs about them with my kids, so we definitely thought they were these friendly creatures.
Yeah, exactly. So we'd love to hear what you guys think. Okay, let's talk about this controversial figure in Washington politics who just landed a major national security role. We're talking about Joe Kent, the former Green Beret, the two-time Trump-endorsed congressional candidate from Southwest Washington. He didn't win those races, but he has now been confirmed as the new director of the National Counterterrorism Center. Yes, this is the same guy who pushed election denial claims. I want you to listen to part of this interview with Tucker Carlson in 2022 when he explained why he was running for Congress.
That's a big reason why I jumped in and have decided to run for Congress. The woman who I voted for, the Republican that I voted for the impeachment of President Trump, which gave this January 6th narrative, which is being smeared against every conservative or anybody who has an issue with the way things are being conducted in the country or the way the last election went. It's being used to turn the national security state against us. She voted for that impeachment, and then she voted for the formation of this very sham trial Soviet kangaroo court we're seeing right now.
And wait, a Soviet kangaroo? What?
That's how he described it. Yeah, the impeachment proceedings. And so that whole committee. And then he's also really said, hey, people had good reason to storm the Capitol on January 6th.
The only reason that people were there on that day of January 6th is that the American people, a vast majority of them, did not feel like their voices were heard at the election box. And therefore, things started to get a little bit dicey. And if our ruling class won't go back and actually adjudicate what happened with our elections, our system is going to continue to decay.
Okay, so I want to just point out that, yes, so the Senate confirmed him. It was a completely partisan vote. Republicans are pointing to his military service. He had 11 combat tours. He has a CIA background. His wife, Shannon Kent, died while serving in Syria. They say those are things that prove that he is ready to lead. But critics say this is a dangerous pick and that his appointment puts ideology ahead of facts in a job where the stakes couldn't be higher. And I'm just curious what you think.
I just feel like you dumped bags of garbage in front of me.
Well, these are just facts.
I'm supposed to sort through it.
Yes.
Where do I start with all of that? I mean, there's a part of here's how I'm feeling. There's a part of me that doesn't even want to address it because this is par for the course with these appointments and hires. In other words, it's like, of course, this is someone that would be added. Like, of course. So why would I even feign surprise? So that's one bit of it. And the reason when I speak of garbage, it was not a knock towards you, but the amount of stuff that was just dumped at our feet that I feel like I need to just clarify.
The difficult part is you look and you say, well, this is a guy who 11 combat tours. He, has a CIA background. He lost his wife.
Yeah,
and those are all great reasons. But how do you not look at these other things and say, is this truly the best candidate for the head of the National Counterterrorism Council? This is a job that demands objectivity.
You could have a person that experienced cancer in their family and lost someone and but that doesn't make them qualified to be a doctor. It doesn't make that alone can't be the reason. I mean, as I understand it, even one of his consultants was a member of the Proud Boys organization. And I mean, I just want to go back to January 6th, because one thing that I will not stand for is us to rewrite history that I was we were all able to be here and see, and this idea of voices being heard and votes and all this, there were lawsuits, and it was proven that there wasn't any of that kind of thing.
Yes.
So
this is now the head of the National Counterterrorism Council.
Personal experience can certainly add to your passion over a topic.
Yes.
Absolutely. But it also takes judgment. And in this case, we're seeing a history of questionable judgment, not only in what he says, but who he surrounds himself with.
You're exactly right. I would love to hear what y'all think. Text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Okay, coming up, we've got that checklist if you're thinking about bringing in a pet into your home, because so many people are abandoning their pets right now because it's just too expensive. I think that's one of the reasons. So we'll talk about that coming up next. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
It's a new year, but many seniors are struggling with the same old problem: high prices and rising property taxes. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, and he says a reverse mortgage may be the answer.
Many seniors cannot afford to stay in the home they love. A reverse mortgage gives them access to equity in their home without having to sell. They can pay off their mortgage if they have one, and maybe pull some extra cash out of their home. And best of all, they have no mortgage payment the rest of their life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X-Fi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards, USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, we've got a new administration. What have we seen as a result at the IRS?
Well, the result that I think everyone is seeing is, unfortunately, reduction in staff.
And yet people think that because of those reductions, they're in a better spot.
Well, it's not necessarily the case, because the IRS is still going to work with the staff that they have. And in fact, their collection activity is going up.
But now is also the best time to get something done that could be favorable to the taxpayer who owes.
It's very interesting. I've had 2 cases now that I was able to get settled with the IRS fairly quickly and with some excellent results. I think they're just trying to get any case where there's a real live person working on it through the system quicker. They're needing to handle a lot more cases. The caseload isn't going to slow down.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSE customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ever wanted to try cold plunge? Our cold plunge for a cause event is the perfect opportunity. Visit our showrooms in August where we have our new Vigor cold plunge displayed. Bring your suit and take the plunge. Olympic will donate $50 for every minute you soak to Charity Water. This wonderful nonprofit brings life-giving clean waters to communities around the world. Find details and sign up today at OlympicHotTub.com.
Olympic Hot Tub. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. New numbers show Microsoft made more than $27 billion in profit last quarter, beating Wall Street expectations. The Redmond-based company tells the Seattle Times demand for artificial intelligence and cloud computing is driving the growth. Microsoft has laid off about 15,000 employees so far this year and poured billions into AI. Tomorrow is President Trump's tariff deadline. Today, an appeals court is hearing arguments challenging Trump's authority to tax imports. Trump cited a 1977 law that gives him emergency powers. Legal expert Jessica Levinson.
Does something like a trade deficit, a structural trade deficit, qualify as the type of unusual circumstance where the president can use this power?
Democratic lawmakers argue Congress is supposed to control the purse strings and the cost of the tariffs will be passed along to American consumers. CBS News just analyzed government data on arrests made by ICE in the first 5 months of the new Trump administration. CBS's Jared Ochacher.
ICE is picking people up and have cooperation with local law enforcement in states like Texas and Florida, but in states like California, they have a large immigrant population and they're doing at-large arrests.
A staff member at Kirkland's Juanita High School is out of the Northwest Detention Center after posting bond. Fernando Alves Rocha tells KIRO 7 TV.
And I really wish I could
could have filmed everything because they were very brutal, disrespectful.
Immigration agents detained him nearly 2 weeks ago. They say he overstayed his visa and is wanted in Brazil for theft. Washington and 20 other states are suing the USDA over what we called food stamps. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay explains.
This is over a new rule requiring states to hand over personal data on millions of Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, recipients. The lawsuit claims the directive violates privacy laws and was enacted without public input. In Washington, more than 1.2 million people could be affected.
No public comment yet from the USDA. The Trump administration wants to cut 40% of the National Institutes of Health's budget as a way to save taxpayer dollars.
That is morally repugnant.
Washington Congresswoman and pediatrician Kim Schreier there. She says NIH research has led to countless medications and cures. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 34 points. NASDAQ ahead 234. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, up north, a crash is blocking all lanes of northbound State Route 9 near Lowell Larimer Road. Traffic is getting by on one of the southbound lanes right now. Remember, it's slow going on I-5 southbound in the Seattle area. The express lanes are open northbound due to construction near the Ship Canal Bridge. Travel time Linwood to Seattle on I-5 south is 51 minutes, 17 longer than usual. Travel time Alderwood to South Center on I-405 south, 79 minutes. That's about 18 minutes longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday to all of you. Gee is out today, but Angela Poe Russell is in. And as many of you are finding out, having a pet is not a light undertaking. And a lot of people around here are also finding out that they are over their heads and they're giving up their animals.
Yes, so we're asking the question, is it getting just too expensive? Animal shelters here and across the country are bursting at the seams with pets as more people are surrendering them. The Linwood Times reported on the issue there, saying at the Paws Companion Animal Shelter in Linwood, dog surrenders, Ursula, are up 37% year over year for the first half of 2025. They say people simply can't afford the rising costs in pet-related services like vet visits, food, grooming. At the same time, dog adoption rates are down. So more surrendering and dog adoption rates are down. Paws has also seen an increase in cat surrenders. In fact, they have capacity for 60 cats, and right now they have 68. NBC News recently reported on this issue from a national perspective. Take a listen to this clip.
Main reason for pet surrender is I can't afford it. Vet care is expensive, food is expensive. I mean, just human cost of living is expensive.
The interesting thing that we're seeing is that the length of stay, so the time that animals are spending in the shelter, is increasing year over year.
Yeah, and they gave this number, I want to say it was like 5.8 million, like animals in shelters. And this is, I mean, that number without putting it in perspective and saying this is a major increase from in the past.
Well, it is expensive to own an animal. And it's heartbreaking to hear because if more and more are landing in shelters and fewer people are adopting them, what eventually happens?
Right.
That's just heartbreaking.
Yes.
On the other hand, I also understand because I think that there are a lot of times when you feel the emotional need and you move on an emotional basis to get an animal, whether it's, adopting from a shelter or buying a dog. I mean, we ended up buying Scooter from a breeder, but I mean, there are different ways that you acquire these pets. But then you realize, especially when you get that first vet bill, that, oh my gosh, I've yet to go to the vet when there's an issue that it's not under $1,000.
Yes. And I think there's so many layers to this issue. There are people who don't think about what it takes to have a pet and they act on the impulse and they do it. And then you have people like the shelter told this one story of a guy who had had these dogs since they were babies. And so he'd had them for more than a decade. And he was having a hard time, started living in his car, and just couldn't take care of them anymore, needed to move out of state. So I don't want to, like, I do think they're the impulse, so I think we should talk about that. And I also want to highlight that if people are struggling to get groceries right now, and we have inflation, that because this lady said in the article that sometimes if they say, hey, if we give you a stash of pet food and take care of this and this, would you be able to keep your pet? And she says most of the time the answer is yes.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I put together a list. I wanted to put together a checklist, and I was curious what you have too, because it's like you need to be able to answer yes to these questions. Like, do you have time every single day to feed, clean up after, walk, cuddle, and play with your animal? I mean, that would be one thing. I'm going to just tell you right now that as a full-time working person, I feel a lot of guilt about leaving my dog every day. Are you cool with giving up spontaneous travel? Or do you have arrangements? Are you okay with giving up uninterrupted sleep?
Oh, yeah, because I hear when you get up in the morning, they want the walk early in the morning.
Oh, yeah. No, and right now, Scooter is 15 years old, and his wake-up times are like 2 and 4 a.m.
All right, I have a question.
Yes.
Have the standards changed for how we take care of pets? Because when I was a kid, now maybe it was because of where I lived.
Yeah.
I lived in the deep South, and no one walked dogs.
Oh, no, you have to walk.
Oh, I know you do now. I'm just saying,
and
like, no one, like, everyone just kind of kept their dog in the yard, and there weren't any walks. Like, it was just,
I think
such
people
a different time.
Yes, I think that maybe people are more enlightened as to what animals actually need.
Totally. I think that's a good thing. All right. For me, money was at the top of the list because I have a friend, they had one issue with their cat and had to go to the emergency room, $5,000 for one issue. So if you have so I think if you're going to get one, you need to start off with either having a high limit on your credit card.
Pet insurance.
Pet insurance, high limit on your credit card, make sure you have a savings account. That piece is really important. And I think the schedule, to your point, are you able to actually work this with your schedule?
Yeah. And do you actually want a real companion, or is this kind of an Instagram kind of thing that you want to just take the pictures?
Yeah.
If you have allergies, are you willing to make peace with a life of antihistamines? Right? Because a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm allergic. They know they're allergic. And then it's like, okay, now I got to give them up because I'm allergic.
Yeah. And here's the bit that I just found out this week. And then, Sophie, I want to get your perspective on this. I have my kids are allergic to grass. And so my husband was making the point he said, I was never allergic to dogs. He said, but dogs roll in grass. And I thought, oh, yes, like there's that bit. So sometimes not the animal itself, but what they encounter. Sophia, do you feel like in your circle, are there people who kind of do the pet ownership thing for the gram?
I don't know for the gram. I think definitely I've known a lot of young people to adopt animals without thinking about the full responsibility of having a pet. I have a friend who got a cat. Their roommate was jealous, so they didn't get to be around this cat all the time. He adopted a cat, and then now when he wants to take trips, he's like, but you'll just watch my cat when I'm out of town. And she's like, it doesn't work like that.
No.
It's your cat. It's your responsibility. And I think a lot of people just don't think about, the whole big picture of it.
Yeah. You are exactly right. Yeah. Well, a ton of you are texting in right now. Text us some of the other questions you think should be on that checklist. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. The other thing I love is people are sending us pictures of their pets. You know what? We need to share that. Sophia, can we put that on our Facebook page?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gee Ursula Show Facebook page. I want to have pictures.
I just fell in love with Gunner. Oh my gosh.
I know. Okay.
By the way, can I mention if you're wanting your pet fix these days and you're not ready to actually adopt one, there are places where you can go and just spend time with animals for the day or for an hour and get hugs and cuddles or take them for a walk.
Yes.
And
visit a shelter.
I'm forgetting the name of the place right now, but there are these places and you just go and you cuddle and you leave.
I love that idea.
Like the cat cafes or things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Melinda in Bellevue just said she had a $7,000 surgery for her pet.
Intestinal
blockage. Yeah. Oh, man. Sweet dog. But yes, it's very expensive. Okay, we're going to create a place where you can post your pictures because they're coming in fast and furious right now on our text line.
I love it.
888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. But go to the Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page here in a second and share your pictures. Okay, coming up next, we got to talk about this controversial ad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody's talking about
it. Yeah, everybody's talking about it. It's for blue jeans. It's not Brooke Shields. So, yeah. We want you to weigh in. Yeah, exactly. We want you to weigh in. Coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
KIRO News Radio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO News Radio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage expert. Steve, mortgage rates have been dropping this year. How could that help seniors struggling to stay in their homes?
Lower mortgage rates means seniors can now get more money from their equity with a reverse mortgage. You can pay off your existing mortgage, have extra money to help with today's high cost of living, or believe it or not, you can even buy a home with a reverse mortgage. There are many uses, and best of all, you have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Did you think local strawberries were done for the season? Well, surprise. We have the Albion variety back with a vengeance. Picked to perfection, delivered daily. I'm Joe at Town & Country Markets, and you're going to love every bite.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword Mike Rowe to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Okay, that was one of the more fun breaks that we've had ever, because we are checking out all your pets that you're posting first on our text line, but now Sophia has created a page on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page, and we want you to keep adding to it because some of your pets are now featured on our page. And the text line is just blowing up right now.
So cute.
It's so cute.
I mean,
exactly.
I'm sitting here
just
like,
what we
oh
needed.
my, yes.
So love it and enjoyed that conversation. And yeah, we need to ask tougher questions before we take on a pet. But right now we need to talk about this ad. It has become the thing that everyone is talking about on social media. And Sydney Sweeney, in case you don't know her, she's an actress best known for movies like Anyone But You and a hit TV show, including Euphoria. And she has this new ad where she is sporting a new pair of denim. So she's wearing jeans in an ad for American Eagle. And the ad starts at the waist of her jeans and then pans up to her blue eyes as she makes a statement that a lot of folks on the internet are not exactly liking. But I want to hear what you think.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
So, because you're not able to see it, she's tall, she's thin, she's blonde, she has blue eyes, and some are saying that the messaging feels like it's a push for eugenic thinking. And others are pointing out that it also perpetuates an image catered to the male gaze, with Sweeney's voice and that vocal fry and the look being sexualized for the campaign. Okay, so this comes after a month after her collaboration with Dr. Squatch, in which the company marketed soap called Sydney's Bathwater Bliss. And again, soap marketed to men alluded to contain her bathwater. But I think the big thing that people are getting upset about is, is this ad at this climate right now with what is going on today? I know you've got a puzzled look on your face, but what was your take on it?
I don't get it, the outrage. I mean, I get it from the standpoint of we want to look at everything that happened and find the thing that we're outraged about. And I look, as a person, I don't have blue eyes, I have brown eyes. Celebrating someone's beauty doesn't mean that something else isn't beautiful. I think the issue would be, does American Eagle ever feature other folks? Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be the question. It's almost like, you know what it reminds me of? It was when we would say, and this is like, Angela, how do we go from jeans to this? But just follow me for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When we said Black Lives Matter, it didn't mean that other lives didn't matter. It's like you're trying to, you're highlighting. And I guess what I'm saying is trying to say that this person is beautiful and talking about her blue eyes doesn't mean that other people aren't beautiful. So I just don't get it. I mean, in this case, she's talking about blue jeans. There was this clever thing to say, oh, jeans determine this, play on words. My eyes are blue. The jeans are blue. Done.
Yes.
But I don't get it.
And I know what they were trying to do, and they were trying to create a controversy, and it worked.
But why is it controversial? Why is it controversial?
Because it's this idea of the blonde, blue-eyed, sexy gal in the blue jeans is superior to other races.
But what made it superior? Why? That's
what I'm trying to understand. And maybe it's clearer to somebody else. Sophia, do you understand what because
help us? I'm not getting where she's being held up as superior unless that's the only ad we ever saw was a blonde, blue-eyed person.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are upset with like the verbiage of the ad, the way it kind of starts off in this like scientific thing. The thing about the discourse, I think the internet is split. Obviously, there's some people that are going to take it to that level of it's promoting eugenics, but I think the other side of it is Sydney Sweeney is consistently at the forefront of these marketing campaigns where her image of being a beautiful woman is sexualized or used in order to sell this idea that really doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the product. You could say, oh, well, she's selling jeans. She's doing this whole thing with the jeans. A lot of people were pointing out if you watch the ad, like the jeans don't even really fit her properly. They're just kind of using her image to create this idea.
I mean, Brooke Shields made the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
people got really upset about Brooke Shields.
And Brooke Shields was unfairly sexualized throughout her career as well. And so I think people are seeing this happen again with Sydney Sweeney. The only difference is she's choosing to sign on for a lot of these campaigns. And so I think people are upset with her choosing to market herself.
All right.
Well, the other part of it, and I'm just gonna, I actually had to look it up because like, why are people so upset? Is basically using her as the archetype of good genes. So she is a conventionally attractive, white, thin, blonde woman with blue eyes, being held up not just as the beauty ideal, but as the pinnacle of good breeding.
You know what? Again, selective outrage. Have y'all seen Beyonce's Levi jeans ad?
Yes.
I mean, so her booty is being held up as a symbol of. I mean, she looked really good in those Levi jeans, and no one made some kind of ruckus about. I really want to get it. So if you have a different perspective, being able to say that, you know what, you have blonde hair and blue eyes and you're beautiful, and you know what, you have brown skin and brown eyes, and I love your shape. It's like it's all beautiful.
The people who made it a controversy have only helped this company.
Oh, I actually think it's part of the ad campaign because people are consistently outraged at her and they consistently don't like her. And I think in a weird way that they knew that this would be talked about. And they're doing their job. You know, American Eagle hasn't got this much press since 2003. So, you know, they're getting done.
I love all color eyes and I love blue jeans.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Okay, coming up at 10 o'clock in What's New at 10, we're going to talk about some universities who I think are caving in, but are they just tough decisions that are necessary? We're going to have that discussion coming up next. This is the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela Poe Russell.
You listen to John Curley every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
Here's how I start my morning. Get my pot of coffee going, and then I turn on Seattle's Morning News. I listen to Charlie and Amanda. This is how I prep for my show, because I know those guys have, I don't know, hundreds of years of experience, although Amanda looks better than Charlie. I'm going to get the straight news.
Experience matters. Seattle's Morning News, weekday mornings 6 to 9 on KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, and the KIRO Newsradio app.
You just invested in new gutter guards to keep the junk out. So why are they clogged with moss and gunk? Well, here's the missing link between just any gutter guards and ones that actually work. You see, most gutter guards, sure, they stop leaves, but they don't stop what grows on them. Moss, algae, grime, they take over, turning your new gutter guards into a plugged, soggy mess. And that's where Moss Eater's gutter guards come in. They're changing the game. It's the only gutter guard with copper-infused tech. That means moss, algae, and gunk won't grow on it. It's like having a built-in Moss Eater on your home. And look, at Moss Eaters, we're not just going to install your guards and then let you fend for yourself. No, we're going to maintain your roof too. Because a clean roof and clog-free gutters means no water, no leaks, and no stress. Get the only gutter guard that truly fights back. Call Moss Eaters at 206-531-7800 or visit mosseaters.com today. That's 206-531-7800 or online at mosseaters.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
What burning questions do you have? You can help drive the conversation by going to mynorthwest.com or text Choke Points to 888-973-5476.
Tuesdays and Thursdays on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, how to get 30, how to get 20, 20, 20, how to get 20, 20, how to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump has given Mexico another 90 days to strike a trade deal as his tariff deadline of tomorrow closes in. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger on what it might mean for countries that do not work out an agreement.
Now it seems that we're settling at a 15% tariff rate with some, I would say, hazy details on how those countries will be investing in the United States, different for each country.
An appeals court's hearing arguments today on a case brought by some states challenging Trump's authority to levy tariffs. Legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
One of the big questions is whether or not the president has the power under this statute to impose these tariffs. This is a congressional statute that has never been used to impose tariffs before.
Correspondent Omar Villafranca is reporting from Arkansas, where 28-year-old Andrew McGann has been arrested in connection with the killing of a couple in a state park.
McGann recently worked as a fifth-grade teacher in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and our CBS affiliate in Tulsa got a statement from the district saying he left on his own and he had passed all the background checks. So when it comes to a motive, police say they are still trying to piece it together.
CBS News has analyzed government data of the 109,000 arrests made by ICE in the first 5 months of the Trump administration. Producer Jared Ochicher.
ICE is picking people up and have cooperation with local law enforcement in states like Texas and Florida, but in states like California, they have a large immigrant population and they're doing at-large arrests.
Overseas, Trump envoy Steve Witkoff held talks in Israel today as criticism grows over the crisis in Gaza. CBS News contributor Robert Berger is in Jerusalem.
Hamas is clearly in no hurry to make a deal. You have a lot of international pressure on Israel right now, with nations recognizing a Palestinian state, with the pictures of hunger coming out of Gaza. So the question is, what does Israel and the U.S. do now?
On the Health Watch, new research suggests hotter summers could be making us sicker.
A study in the journal Scientific Advances tracked emergency room visits in California over 11 years and found those visits steadily increased as temperatures did. High heat has been linked to cardiovascular deaths and respiratory and kidney failure. Dr. Larry Kenny runs Penn State University's heat lab.
When our body temperature goes up and we can't get rid of that heat, it puts a strain on the cardiovascular system.
Our heart, kidneys, and other organs have to work harder, raising the risk of them breaking down. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 43 points. The S&P is up 32. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Another fire in Seattle. Is it the work of an arsonist? The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 northbound at State Route 169. You're backed up to State Route 167. Up north, a crash is blocking all lanes of northbound State Route 9 near Lowell Larimer Road. Traffic getting by on one of the southbound lanes. And it's slow going on I-5 southbound in the Seattle area. The express lanes are open northbound due to construction near the Ship Canal Bridge. Travel time Linwood to Seattle on I-5 south is 56 minutes, now half an hour longer than usual. Travel time Alderwood to South Center on I-405 is 73 minutes, about 22 longer. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Seattle firefighters today responded to their fifth fire since Saturday. They say the 4 earlier fires were all deliberately set. Eric Munoz with Seattle Police says a traffic camera caught a suspect at one of those fires yesterday.
There is SDOT camera footage and additional video surveillance footage that we've uncovered that we believe depicts a suspect in what is an intentional act of arson.
No word yet on what sparked today's fire in Beacon Hill that started in a detached garage and spread to a home. That fire went to 2 alarms. At least 9 people were displaced. The driver accused of shooting a Lummi Nation police officer this week is now charged with attempted murder. He gave officers a fake name at first, but KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
Fingerprints confirm he is Jesus Penuelas Agramon, a convicted felon wanted out of Colorado.
And also wanted for a parole violation of dangerous drugs and possession of a firearm.
He's being held without bail. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
The Seattle City Council has unanimously approved Council President Sarah Nelson's plan to dedicate up to 25% of a proposed public safety sales tax to addiction recovery services. Nelson telling KIRO Radio's John Curley Show.
Addiction drives many of our public safety and our chronic homelessness problems.
The initiative could direct nearly $10 million a year toward treatment, recovery, housing, and crisis response. That roar you're going to hear in the Seattle area today will be the Navy's Blue Angels. The Flight Demonstration Squadron plans to practice today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and again from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. They're getting ready for their Seafair performance tomorrow. The Seahawks are hanging on to their general manager a while longer. The team has extended John Schneider's contract through 2031. Schneider thanked the team's owner, Jody Allen, on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
Grateful for Jody and the trust that she's put in myself and Coach Mike, and yeah, excited to keep rocking this thing.
Schneider joined the Seahawks in 2010 and helped build a Super Bowl winner 4 years later. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today, but Angela Poe Russell is in.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, we've got another packed hour for you coming up at 10:30. We are going to talk about why everything needs to be the summer of something. So what is this summer anyway? I mean, a former mayor of Seattle coined the summer of love, and I would argue that was the beginning of the end of her tenure, basically. But we're going to have some fun coming up at 10:30. And when do some of these phrases actually make sense? And when do some of them okay, that's just trying too hard? As always, we invite you to join us on the text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. This has been one of the busiest text mornings because all of you are sending us pictures of your pets. And now Sophia has created a page on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page, and so she has transported some of those pictures on there, but a lot of you are putting more of your pictures, and it's just making me smile all morning.
Yeah,
it's just putting me into a great mood. So continue to do that because we need more joy for sure. But with that, let's get going.
What's new at 10?
Okay, I want to start off with the whole topic of tiny villages, because Seattle is now adding more than 100 new tiny homes this fall as part of this continued push to get people out of tents and RVs and into safer shelter, get them off the streets. And the city is partnering with the Low Income Housing Institute, otherwise known as Lehigh, to open these 2 new tiny home villages, bringing the total number of them to 13. Before I move on, just generally, do you think that tiny villages are a good option?
I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it is a quick way to make a big difference. And when you have a tiny home village, there's regulation, there are rules, there is a sense of community that it's very different when you're sleeping on the ground in a tent and you don't have that structure.
I completely agree. Now, Mayor Bruce Harrell says this isn't just about clearing the encampments, which under his administration, I will say that he has put a concerted effort into doing that. And he's been criticized for it by advocates for the homeless who say it's just you're moving the problem somewhere else. But that is what he campaigned on.
Okay. Do you know how long it takes to get an apartment? Yes. I don't understand. Listen. They have had millions and millions of dollars, all these activists and advocates to kind of help with the problem. So I think this is a tangible something that you can do to move people closer to getting the resources they need.
Yes. And the mayor says this is a part of a multi-layered strategy to increase affordable housing and also address the root causes of homelessness. So with the tiny villages, I mean, exactly what you said. For me, it's a temporary option, but it's an immediate option. It's something that you can do fairly quickly instead of waiting for that permanent housing, which seems to just skyrocket when it comes to the price tag of it. And ultimately, that is the goal.
Yes.
But in the immediate, we should not have people. And it's just heartbreaking to see the number of people who are still on the streets. And I know that there are people right now who are saying in their heads, well, that's their choice. Or they're strung out on drugs or whatever it is. If you have a tiny home village, like you said, you have a better chance of actually giving them the services they need and just getting them off the street immediately. So these new villages would include hygiene stations. They would have security. They would have access to supportive services. And it would be as part of the 2025 budget, nearly $6 million would be used to pay for these. So the city has this unified care team. They will be tasked with reaching out to people to bring them into the tiny homes. And Mayor Harrell says those efforts have already led to an 80% drop in encampments over the past 2 years. I was just asking the other day, I used to drive by one of the tiny home villages in the University District. And then when I stopped by suddenly I noticed it's gone. And I thought it was an example of something that was going right. And I'm going to guess that they're going to put something new into that space. But when I stopped at the donut shop right across the street, and I saw several homeless people right outside the donut shop, and I said, what happened to the tiny home village? And she couldn't give me the answer, and I don't have the answer right now. But she said, but since it's been gone, there were a lot of people just wandering around not knowing what to do.
Yeah. Because in my neighborhood, we have a tiny home village, and it's been great. It's really neat from the outside. It just looks like it has its stuff together. And I love getting that perspective from people who are living and working in places where this lady was able to say, I've seen the difference since they've been gone.
Yes.
I wonder if it was sold and it's been developed.
I don't know, and I should have looked into it. But in any case, I think that is the right move. Okay, speaking of moves that I'm not sure this next thing we're going to talk about is the right move, but tell us about it.
This is like what would you do?
Yes.
So think about, put yourself in this situation. I'll do the headline and try to put my own little opinion in it. Another elite university has bowed down to the Trump administration.
Oh, okay.
Okay, meant that they struck a deal. Brown University, in an effort to get its federal research funding back, agreed to several of the Trump administration's demands. About $510 million in federal funding was at risk for the institution. It had been frozen. Brown has agreed, as part of the deal, to pay $50 million in grants over 10 years to workforce development organizations in the state where they're located, Rhode Island. They agreed to bar transgender women from using women's single-sex spaces and competing in sports. They agreed to conduct a campus climate survey and maintain merit-based admissions policies, among other changes. But there is no finding or admission of wrongdoing. Now, Brown's president said in a statement that it preserved the school's academic independence. Do you feel like...
So in other words, Brown caved, is what I'm reading into it. If I'm looking at it, Columbia did the same thing.
They did.
Right? Columbia did the same thing.
And they actually had to pay the government, whereas Brown didn't have to pay the government.
And then Harvard said, not so fast.
Right. But they have a much larger endowment.
And that's bottom line is what is happening. They're being threatened with losing this funding, and they're saying, well, we're going to bow down and do these things, whether or not they believe in it, whether or not they think it's actually better for the institution. But I think it's a dangerous slope. I mean, it's a slippery slope when whatever administration comes in and makes these demands and says, you're not going to get any money. And same with government entities. You're not going to get the money unless you bow down to these things that whether or not you believe in that is an institution. And my question is it important for a university, a private university, to have autonomy?
Oh, I absolutely think so, because people can choose whether they want to go to that university according to their policies. Now, I know some of you'll text and say, well, if you want federal government money, then here should be the rules if you want the money. But think about it if the shoe is on the other foot.
Exactly.
And they're coming to your organization, and let's say it's a far left whatever, and they're saying, okay, we had given you money for medical research, but if you don't, I don't know, do this kind of thing, we're going to take it away. The two had nothing to do with each other. But going back to this decision, this impossible decision of, do you continue to stand up to the administration like Harvard and lose half? Is that $500 million? Like it's $500 million. Oh my God. So it's like $500 million.
Yeah, it is $500 million.
That's $500 million.
Huge, yes.
And so if you're saying this money is being used to research this particular disease or Alzheimer's. I mean, at these universities, major research is happening that impacts what kind of treatments we get, what kind of medications we get. I mean, we need this research.
Yes.
So they could make the case that we're trying to preserve this great work that's happening.
And I understand that, but what precedent are you setting?
Are you saying that you would stand it? Because I'm thinking I might be with Brown, that I might have to bend over. Oh, sorry.
They did it. Well, they did it. No, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm not taking anything.
Thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
No. If it were G here, you'd be in trouble. But I understand what you're saying. And in the case of Brown and these other universities that cannot withstand that kind of financial hit, it's almost like it's like a gun is literally being put to their head.
Yeah.
Because they can't go without that money. Oh, great. So you don't have to admit wrongdoing. What admit wrongdoing?
They never, and that's the point. They said that, but okay, let's go back to what the allegations were. This was related to protests after the October 7th attack in Israel, and then there was, the war in Gaza. So this was protests over the treatment of people and Palestinians, and then feeling that there was anti-Semitic behavior on campus. There's been nothing I can't tell you that there was anything proven that happened there, but this was related to that. And again, trying to claim that race was somehow being used in admissions, even though the Supreme Court has banned that, even though many states have banned that, but people still want to insist, you must be using race. So nothing was proven that has happened. And you'll notice the language was they will maintain merit-based admissions.
Yeah, okay.
So admit what wrongdoing?
So exactly. So when you read that and see that Brown did go for it like Columbia, but Harvard, where the president of Harvard got the standing ovation because he said, yeah, not so fast. I don't want to have to cave in. Although they're still under investigation. There are 60
universities. Yes. Yeah, I should mention that. This is Harvard, Cornell, Yale. And again, it's anti-Semitism investigations. Education Secretary Linda McMahon calls it a win for fairness and merit. It's so ridiculous to me because at any of these schools, everyone was qualified to be there. Right now, we have a shortage of boys going to college.
Mm-hmm.
So if a university says, okay, I have 2 kids with 1,400 SAT scores and maybe one of them was a 1,460, but the boy had the 1,400 and I'm going to take the boy, does that mean he wasn't qualified?
No.
Like, it doesn't make...
I mean, if you look at the language, you look at the thing about trans and bathrooms, and it's all the same arguments. And the whole, I am totally against anti-Semitism. And
absolutely.
I know that you are too. And yet I'm also in favor of free speech. And I mean, I don't want to say to an extent. Obviously, I mean, free speech, if you think about it, also has its limitations. But when is it anti-Semitism and when is it, hey, we're still against Hamas, but very concerned about what is happening to innocent Palestinian people? That doesn't make it anti-Semitism.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And here's the thing. I listened to the Gee and Ursula Show, and the thing that really just tore me up was listening to the interview with the Pierce County executive and you asking him, what's your biggest challenge right now, in this role? And he said, dealing with the federal government. The fact that there are things we have come to rely on and need, and having to work with them was becoming impossible. We cannot have a government poking its nose in every aspect of like, on one hand, you say states' rights, but it's states' rights as long as I get to control what I tell you to do.
And I also, I understand that some people say, well, these colleges have become too woke and it's just full of liberal ideas and this is just kind of righting what has been wrong. You've heard that.
I've heard that. But go on.
Yes.
Go on.
So I think the people who are like, hey, finally someone is doing something, this is their argument. I disagree with it. I think right now it's unfortunate that Brown has had to cave, but I understand it's like $500 million.
What would you do? If you were university right now, there's a former journalist who's president of Columbia, and she caved.
Yeah, she did cave.
Do?
I'd be asking my very rich donors, can you step in? If you believe in this, I would try to do everything I could like Harvard did. Like, do you have some people who can step up? Because what we're doing right now is setting a very dangerous precedent. Unfortunately, I think a lot of them are going to cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Okay, can we bring up one last thing? Because we are following this string of suspicious fires in southeast Seattle, including one that damaged one of the city's oldest funeral homes. That one started early Wednesday morning at Columbia Funeral Home and Crematory in Columbia City. And surveillance video shows someone was pacing on the porch, bending down, and then there was a flash of light before that person took off. And the funeral director told King 5 News his first concern was not the building.
Just the families we served and all their historical records, the genealogy for families, and it's lost. And that's hard.
Now, in that case, the fire crews rushed in about 4 a.m. They were able to contain the flames, but police and fire investigators say there's no doubt it was arson. Just 45 minutes later, there was a second fire reported at a home under construction in the Mount Baker neighborhood. That was about a mile away. That fire is also being investigated as arson. Damage between those two properties estimated at over $350,000. And then I just heard in Heather's newscast that basically there have been 5 fires in the city just since Saturday, and investigators are calling 4 of them arson.
Wow. Yeah. And I want to say it was King 5 that had a video, or they obtained video where you could actually see the person setting the funeral home on fire and running away. And so we have someone out there clearly doing this, and it's scary. It's so scary. And I was telling you during our meeting how when I went to go buy something at a pharmacy, how they made me show ID for buying a lighter. And I thought, maybe this is, and I thought maybe this was related to the fires and whatever. And then I think it's related to just smoking, but I thought it was related to
They want to make sure that you're of age to smoke.
But I think it might be a good idea because think about it. I mean, these incendiary things usually have to be purchased somewhere, whether it's the matches, things like that.
Yeah, every time I hear of a string of arsons, I can't help, and for people who've been in the Seattle area a long time, I just keep thinking of Paul Keller and the terror and fear that man caused with the number of arsons that he was responsible for.
How long did this go on?
I mean, it went on. And Sophia, if you could help me, I mean, it went on for months.
And did we know how they caught him?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I just remember it was. Yeah, he was a serial arsonist. He was convicted of murder, actually, because someone died. It was fall of 1992. He'd set more than 24 fires throughout the Seattle area.
Wow.
Yeah.
We definitely need to go after this aggressively before someone gets hurt.
Absolutely, for sure. Okay, still ahead, we're going to have some fun because we're going to talk about phrases when it comes to labeling summers. And what label would you give this summer? I have one.
Is it positive?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, mine is not.
Oh, no. Okay. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/22/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of one unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. One discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your
Did
you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSE customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer K-Guard gutter system. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. These top-of-the-line guards are exclusively available only at Guardian. K-Guard is designed to keep debris out, and their durability means they look great year-round without rusting or warping. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect your home with Guardian. To learn more about Guardian's exclusive K-Guard gutter system, call today or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Saturday, August 23rd, enjoy the 30th birthday bash for University Place at Cirque Park, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Bands all day, over 50 vendors, beer garden, and family zone. Don't miss it August 23rd. Special thanks to UP Refuse and Recycling.
KIRO Newsradio has your chance to win a pregame sideline experience with Gee Scott, plus 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks take on the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Head to the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab in the bottom of the right corner, and enter for your chance to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter on the KIRO Newsradio app, the better your odds. Do it every day, July 30th through August 4th. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. President Trump's tariffs are set to kick in tomorrow, a tax on foreign goods that Trump describes as
billions of dollars of cash pouring into our country.
But CBS's Natalie Brand reports
economists say it's the companies importing the goods that pay the tax and often pass that along to the consumer. Procter & Gamble, a major maker of key household supplies, announced it's raising prices on a quarter of their products in response to tariffs impacting the supply chain.
Mexico's president says Trump has agreed to another 90-day extension as they try to work out a trade agreement before the tariff kicks in. CBS News is analyzing government data on arrests made by ICE in the first 5 months of the new Trump administration. CBS's Jared Ochacher.
Of those people taken into ICE custody were listed as Mexican citizens. Behind them were Guatemala and Honduras with around 15,000 and 12,000 respectively. And then behind them, 8,000 citizens were Venezuelan and then 5,000 from El Salvador. So they really are geographically close. It makes sense when you look at broader immigration trends.
ICE arrests have increased 120% compared to last year. A staff member at Kirkland's Juanita High School who was picked up by ICE and sent to the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma says it was brutal.
They treat me badly because I was being aggressive and resisting, which is not true.
Fernando Alves Rocha spoke to KIRO 7 TV after being released on $10,000 bail. Immigration agents say he overstayed his visa and is wanted in Brazil for theft. New numbers show Microsoft made more than $27 billion in profit last quarter, beating Wall Street expectations. The Redmond-based company has laid off about 15,000 employees this year and poured billions into AI. There's a new Microsoft report about the jobs less likely to be replaced by AI.
The tech giant looked at anonymous conversations between its AI chatbot, Microsoft Bing Copilot, and its users, and found workers who use AI the least and have the most AI-safe jobs include nursing assistants, painters, embalmers, and tire repairers. Dr. Nariman Farvardin, president of Stevens Institute of Technology, says students need to learn more than skills.
We try to teach students a way to learn on their own for the rest of their lives.
He says people who can innovate alongside AI will be successful. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 190 points, NASDAQ up 60. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Renton, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 northbound at State Route 169. You're backed up to State Route 167. Up north, the crash has been cleared from State Route 9 near Lowell Larimer Road. In Bothell, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 southbound near State Route 522. You are backed up through Canyon Park, and it's putting even more pressure on your southbound commute. Remember, the express lanes are open northbound due to construction near the Ship Canal Bridge. Travel time Alderwood to South Center on I-405 south is 73 minutes. That's about half an hour longer than usual. Travel time Linwood to Seattle on I-5 South, 1 hour, about 40 minutes longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s today. It's 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. She is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And it seems like every summer we have this strange but irresistible desire not just to relax or soak in the sun, but to define summer. What kind of summer is it going to be? So I asked all of you to give us a sense of what your summer is if you were to give it a label. And is it a hot girl summer? Because we've heard that. A brat summer, which I still don't even fully get. Do you understand that whole brat summer thing?
I don't. Sophia, can you help?
Yeah, so Brat, welcome to Gen Z Talk with Sophia, explaining the media. So Brat is an album by Charlie XCX that came out last summer, and the energy of Brat was just kind of being wild and free. And it was essentially something that was led on by this album called Brat. So that's usually what it's referring to.
Okay. And then there was Barbie Summer. I remember when the Barbie and everything was Barbie and everything was just hot pink. Barbie Summer. Mm-hmm. So what kind of summer are you having? And you said it wasn't going to be positive.
Downer.
No. What's up?
I feel like it's a summer of like terror. I'm watching people get detained every day in these awful ways. You know, I'm a person that I totally get if someone has committed a crime other than entering, then you should that should be addressed. Absolutely. But stopping people with their infant in the car and arresting them and then the infant, like just awful things that have been happening and having to watch that and then pretend that life is okay. Is really difficult to do. And at the same time, I'm looking at all of these. You know, we still don't have, we have no resolution in all these conflicts that we thought would be resolved months ago. Mm-hmm. And we have people who are starving. So can you explain like some of those conflicts that you're talking about? I'm thinking about Ukraine and Russia. I'm thinking about no deal between Israel and Hamas. And meanwhile, the Gazans the Palestinians who are like starving and many being killed when they're trying to get aid. So I have a hard time labeling a summer because a summer can be so many things.
Yeah.
And one aspect for me, it's beautiful because, for some people, kids are home from college or I'm being able to spend time outside. And at the same time, I can't ignore that even if you agree with what's going on and it's a big shift.
it's a big
shift in what's happening. It's dramatic.
And it feels like there's a lot of strife. There's a lot of anger right now, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the divisiveness feels like it's very heavy. So I totally understand that. And so I almost feel guilty about giving my summer a label.
Because it can be all those things, and that's beautiful.
Yes.
So let's do it, because you have a summer of celebrations.
And maybe that is the best thing that I should call it, because I came up with a couple of things, and it was, this is the summer of trying to live my best life.
Ooh,
despite everything.
Yes, despite everything.
And I have become the master of compartmentalization.
I love that.
Out of necessity, but I'm
Survival.
like, I'm not going to let because for those of us who are in, let's just put it in my age bracket, we have raised our kids. If you have kids, we have raised our kids. We also helped with our aging parents. And unfortunately, I lost mine a couple of years ago. So now I'm in this phase where I am learning how to focus on myself. And yes, I have a big milestone birthday that we keep talking about, and I'm sorry, ad nauseum, we talk about it a lot, but I'm like, I am going to embrace that. So for me, this is the summer of living my best life despite it all, and family first, because, my son has just now moved back. And so in that sense, it has been a good summer, again, despite everything that is happening right now. For Bern and Olympia, this is the summer of road construction. And Jeff in Bonnie Lake says this is the summer of sweeping statements in honor of G.
What you're focusing on for your summer reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, how life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Yes.
Right?
I
It
love
feels
that.
like that's what you're doing. Like you're saying, I know these things are happening or this, but there's also a lot of good.
And
yeah.
I guess part of it is also this idea of you never know what is around the corner. It could change in an instant. And so if I'm not enjoying it at this very moment, when, I'm not worrying about anyone who's sick. I'm not worrying about myself being sick or my husband being sick. I mean, it's the first time in a long time that's been the case. And I know for a lot of people, you're dealing with that right now.
Yeah.
So I get it. Sophia,
what's kind of summer you have?
No, I wanted to add, I think the phenomenon of us labeling summers, I know you pointed out, Angela, that maybe there are a lot of things happening in the world that aren't a cause for celebration, but I think that is why there is a push year after year to define summer, because it is an idea of hope. It is something that people can say, okay, in what ways are we having fun, or we're rebranding our lifestyle? And a lot of it was pushed by marketing, like Barbie summer. But think about how unifying Barbie summer was for so many people everywhere, to be all dressed in their pink.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you couldn't go to the stores without pink everywhere.
Reclaiming femininity. I mean, all of these type of things. It's not invalidating anything else happening in the world, but it is making you feel a little bit better.
Well, I love the idea of having something to unify us in this fragmented world.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some things that we can't even talk about the Seafair Blue Angels?
Oh, even that's
without
become
getting
a
people all
thing.
upset. And why does that have to become a left or right thing? I saw that people were trying to divide it over, people on the left don't like Blue Angels.
In fact, someone even said that about the Sweeney ad and our views. They were like, yeah, the left is, and it's like, let's stop doing left and
I
right,
hate that.
because it gives the impression that if you're a Republican, you only think this way. And if you're a Democrat, you only think this way. And that's not true.
It's not.
That's not. There are just varied opinions that weren't really tied to a political party.
Which is why I hate sweeping statements. And I know it's much harder to have a nuanced conversation and say, yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't. And by the way, I love the Blue Angels, and I'm sympathetic.
I love the Blue Angels too. I'm going to go check them out at a friend's house tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, on Sunday we have a barbecue, a family reunion every time, centered around the Blue Angels performance. So I look forward to that, and I understand also that there are people who really are not just bothered by the noise, but it has significant health impacts, and people have concerns about the environment, and I get all that.
And at the same time, it's really cool. Because I hear people, they're like, it's the militarization of Seafair. And that's kind of...
Right?
I I get that view.
Yeah,
I get that view. And
view.
I do enjoy seeing, because honestly, so much of what the military does is out of view for us, in terms what they do overseas. And so it often is a way to showcase, this is who we are. This is what we do.
Yes.
This is the technology that exists here, the opportunities that exist in the military.
Yes. It's a great recruiting tool for them. And I'm sorry, but I still get wowed. Despite
Pretty
how
amazing.
loud it is, it's still
the
amazing.
talent, the focus, the skill.
Yes.
All of it.
Bernie and Kent says, this is the summer of kitchen remodel for me.
We're sorry.
Exactly. Okay, still ahead, we've got a scenario for you. This has to do with a wedding that's coming up this spring. Okay, we need your help on this. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO if you want to weigh in on any of our topics. But scenarios is coming up ahead.
You listen to Charlie and Manda on Seattle's Morning News every morning. What do they listen to every afternoon?
I listen to John all the time when I'm driving home, driving my kids around.
I also listen to the John Curley Show, and even by the end of the day, I still like to keep my brain active, and he's very good at doing that.
John, first of all, is hilarious. I never know where this dude is coming from.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute with KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
It's a new year, but many seniors are struggling with the same old problem: high prices and rising property taxes. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, and he says a reverse mortgage may be the answer.
Many seniors cannot afford to stay in the home they love. A reverse mortgage gives them access to equity in their home without having to sell. They can pay off their mortgage if they have one, and maybe pull some extra cash out of their home. And best of all, they have no mortgage payment the rest of their life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Your child is 18, and suddenly you no longer have legal access to their medical info, even in an emergency. No health decisions, no financial help, nothing, unless you plan ahead. That's why Trust and Will created the Young Adult Plan. It includes HIPAA authorization, healthcare directives, and power of attorney. Everything your child needs to stay protected and stay connected. Go to trustandwill.com and get your young adult plan for just $69. Because turning 18 shouldn't mean cutting parents out of the picture. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
When the heat's an 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
dayandnight.net. Some AC you'll be loving
when your house is an oven.
dayandnight.net.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Call now to get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC.
dayandnight.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out, Angela is in, and it is time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
All right, y'all. So we have a scenario for you that's kind of timely, as this person's actually seeking advice right now.
Yes.
So we're going to hear your thoughts. We're going to call this person Anxious and Anacortes. Her daughter is getting married next spring. They're aiming for the dream wedding. Open bar, designer dress, 200 guests, bridesmaids, gifts, the whole works. But the bill right now is looking towards $150,000. Anxious and her husband are footing most of the bill, but just this week, the groom's family offered $20,000 and said they'll also cover the rehearsal dinner. Generous, yes, and very appreciated. Here's the dilemma. Anxious was planning to go the traditional route on the invitation. Mr. and Mrs. Anxious and Anacortes invite you to the wedding of Kristen and Trevor. But now that the groom's family has chipped in, should they be listed as co-hosts on the invitation too? Or is it okay to keep the invite traditional and just acknowledge their support with a thank you during the toast? Anxious says they're still paying the lion's share. Her husband is already hyperventilating over the price tag. So what's the etiquette here? If the other family throws in $20K, do they get their names on the invite or just a shout out over champagne?
Ooh.
Juicy.
Oh, boy. You said it's $150,000
at least.
It's looking towards $150,000, but the groom's family is only going to pitch in $20,000.
Okay, my gut reaction was that no, it's the people paying, like, we invite you to the wedding of our daughter, blah, 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 blah. Thank you note for the gift. So that's being like the petty, like my initial reaction. On second thought, which Ursula and I love second thought.
Yes, we do.
If it doesn't, like, I know it's expensive, but your anger is misplaced, I think. I believe the conversation should probably be with the folks spending the money and say, hey, this is too expensive. If the other family's contributing an amount that's meaningful to them, then include them. I think this is the beginning of what we hope is a long relationship, and we want families to be able to get along. And this is a nice olive branch, I think, to just include them on the invitation and have a conversation with the bride and the groom about that price tag.
Okay. I know of someone who was in a similar predicament as Anxious and Anacortes. And so my advice would be include them in the invitation. No one cares that you spent $150,000 and they spent $20,000 except for you. And honestly, I think it is a wonderful gesture to say we are both inviting you because that's their son. And I guess in the future, I'm not going to worry about how much I've contributed versus how much my future daughter-in-law's family has contributed. I think that we're both excited to welcome this union and, have all our family and friends there together. And I think it would be a lovely gesture, unless it's not important. I mean, if the other family says, "Oh no, we don't need to have any acknowledgement on the invitations. Just do it that way." I would say, as a gesture and a way to show, I guess, generosity in that sense would be to include them.
Don't you think, though, the reason they're even having this debate in their mind is because they're feeling some kind of way about the amount of money they're spending?
Yes, and right now everybody's saying $150,000 is ridiculous. Now, weddings are very expensive, and if you're talking about over 200 people, it's easy.
Where does that money come from? Who has that money? I want to know if you have that money. Tell me where you got it.
Now, can I make a hot take here?
Yes.
I get that, the family that's putting a lot of money in wants to have their name on the invitation. But in my opinion, we're not in the 18th century. We're not giving your daughter away. No one's paying a dowry. Why do we have to have either family's names on the invitation? Why can't the invite just say, we're celebrating the wedding of Kristen and Trevor, point blank, period, with no recognition to either family? And if you're upset about how much you're going to have to pay, that's what you say for the inner gossip circles, and you tell everyone how much you pay. But out in public, we save face and no one's name goes on the invite.
Oh, okay. Angela, I don't think you agree with that necessarily. And I want to hear Nick's take on this.
This seems really petty to me. And with this much money being thrown around for a wedding and a reception, I'm surprised a name on the card is the highest of concerns. But if we're talking a chip-in of $20 for the contribution, I say that's added up to a good modest toast at the gathering, if that.
Thank you for letting me be myself.
Give me a break with the names. I'd be more concerned about putting the money towards a house than the ceremony. Come on. Like a name on the card.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm going to tell you for scenarios, this is getting a lot of texts.
I love what Carrie and Bonnie Lake said. They're building a family, not a limited liability corporation. Put the parents on the freaking invite.
I'm with you, Carrie. I do hope I hope we're not making her more anxious.
I hope not.
Yeah,
in Arlington loved your idea, Sophia.
Yes, Sophia, that was a great idea. I don't think that's okay. At least in the situation I know of, I don't think that's going to work. But I think that's a great solution.
One person has to be the bigger person, and it's a hard one because at the end of the day, yes, you want to be able to host the party on behalf of your family, but at the end of the day, if the event is about the bride and the groom, I think that's where this always happens in weddings. It's about the bride and the groom. Let's make it about them.
But here's the thing, though. If you want the parents to pay for it, then their name needs to go on the dang invitation. But they're hosting it.
I just think that's a little bit, that becomes a pride thing. People's families a lot of the time are supporting.
That is a big pride thing. It is a pride thing. And wait a minute. Yeah, Sophia, it is a pride thing.
There were a couple times my mom on the wedding pulled rank. She was like, this is my first. She's like, she didn't say I'm paying for this, but you knew in that moment.
Yeah, it's like, you're going to take
when
your input.
Someone else pays, you give up control.
Okay,
but I hear
text
you,
us.
Sophia.
Keep going in. And no, I love it. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. More of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
Many things on my mind. Words in the way. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Are you over 50 and constantly feeling tired, bloated, or just a little off? Don't ignore it. Those could be signs that your liver is crying for help. As we age, our liver, which is essential for metabolism, digestion, immunity, and detoxification, needs extra support and protection. If neglected, it can leave you feeling sluggish and constantly off your game. That's where Active Liver from New Nordic comes in. Available in easy-to-take tablets or delicious gummies, Active Liver combines powerful natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract to help support healthy liver function. With Active Liver, you're giving your body an essential daily defense against toxins from alcohol, fatty foods, and sweets, helping you reclaim your energy, improve digestion, lose the bloat, and strengthen your immunity so you can look and feel your best again. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Do you ever lose your balance or feel dizzy for no apparent reason? Do you hear ringing in your ears or have migraines? These are all signs you could have a problem with your inner ear or vestibular system. To learn more, call the Vestibular Disorders Helpline at 800-837-8428. That's 800-837-8428. Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Spike O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp, owner of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Dr. Sharp, I am amazed at the brightness and the clarity that I didn't even realize I'd lost before I had my procedure. How's that even possible?
A lot of people don't realize that. As you get older, the lens not only is less flexible, but it gets less transparent. And gradually, even in our 40s, 50s, 60s, the lens variety does get less transparent. So you get more glare at night, more halos, loss of contrast sensitivity, loss of some color vision or decreased color vision.
Exactly what I was seeing.
And so when we replace that lens that gets cloudier and cloudier with a crystal clear lens, all of the light gets through, all of the clarity, all the brightness, all the colors. And again, with the multifocal lenses that we have, it's sort of like a bifocal built in, so you can see near and far.
Give the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens a call at 425-451-2020 or online at sharp-vision.com. Sharp with an E-vision.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump's August 1st deadline is approaching for countries to reach a trade deal. Mexico got an extension today.
The president posted on Truth Social they agreed to extend for a 90-day period the same exact deal they had for a short period of time previously.
CBS's Olivia Rinaldi says there's good reason the deals haven't come as quickly as the administration hoped.
Tariff negotiations and resetting trade are conversations that take months. So when you're having it in this really condensed timeline and you want to do it with all of the countries that trade with the U.S., that's a tall task.
And even if Trump's new tariffs take effect tomorrow, CBS's Jill Schlesinger believes it will be a long time before Americans feel the effects.
It often takes 6 to 12 months for the impact of tariffs to kind of wind their way through the economy. I think what we are seeing is people are nervous that prices will be rising. They understand tariffs are paid by the importing country, not by anyone else, and that's likely to make prices go up.
A federal appeals court, meanwhile, is weighing President Trump's use of an emergency powers law to impose the sweeping tariffs. The judges expressed some skepticism over his legal rationale. Correspondent Jim Ursula has the latest on a death penalty case that's attracted nationwide attention.
A Tennessee man scheduled to be put to death next Tuesday can be executed without deactivating his implanted heart defibrillator. That's the ruling from the state Supreme Court. 68-year-old Byron Black was convicted in the 1988 shooting deaths of his girlfriend and her 6- and 9-year-old daughters.
Dozens of passengers were injured when a Delta Airlines flight hit severe turbulence. Michael Wallace has the latest.
I really thought we were going to die.
Leslie Woods was one of the 275 passengers on Flight 56 from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam. Delta says the flight encountered significant turbulence and made an emergency landing at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
It was like an earthquake. It was just the plane was shaking so hard, and then it would stop, and then it would start again. So it was kind of traumatizing.
Paramedics treated dozens of passengers at the gate. 25 of them were taken to local hospitals. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The extreme heat remains in parts of the South, but along the East Coast, there is another weather threat. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore.
A moderate level 4 to 5 risk for flash flooding due to this heavy rainfall moving into that northeast corridor. You're talking 4 to 6, maybe even closer to 7 inches of rainfall coming down.
And the storms could drop that rain very quickly. On Wall Street, investors are weighing the latest trade developments. Stocks are currently mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial's down 177 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Someone's deliberately setting fires in Seattle. The story coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Firefighters in Everett are on the trestle. There are reports of a person in the water. Give those crews some room. In Bellevue, a crash is blocking a lane on State Route 520 westbound near I-405. In Renton, a crash blocking a lane on I-405 northbound at State Route 169. You're backed up to State Route 167. In Bothell, a crash is blocking a lane on I-405 southbound near State Route 522. You are solid through Canyon Park. In the Seattle area, express lanes are open northbound because of construction, so travel times Alderwood to South Center on I-405 South and Linwood to Seattle on I-5 are both about half an hour longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. There's growing concern that a prolific arsonist is at work in Seattle. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin is in Beacon Hill, where a 2-alarm fire started in a detached garage this morning.
It was towards the back side of the house in the backyard, according to a neighbor. He said that he saw flames shooting out of the house. It was just upgraded to a 2-alarm response, which means they did need to bring in backup. This is the 5th fire in this area just since Saturday. Those previous fires are all being investigated as arson, according to Seattle police. It is unclear at this time if this fire is connected to any sort of situation like that.
No arrests. The man accused of shooting a Lummi Nation police officer Monday is now charged with attempted murder. Jesus Penuelas Agarman is a convicted felon wanted out of Colorado. Whatcom County Sheriff Donnell Tanksley says they recovered a gun and shell casings at the scene.
The firearm that was recovered is a stolen firearm from a Whatcom County resident.
Police say Agraman had driven into a ditch and the officer was trying to help him when Agraman opened fire, shooting the cop multiple times. A convicted rapist with a long rap sheet accidentally released on bail by the King County courts. Casey McNertney with the prosecutor's office tells KTTH's Jason Rantz that under the law, he should have been placed on a no bail hold.
It's the responsibility of all parties to make sure that the law is followed in the courtroom.
There is now a warrant out for his arrest. The city of Seattle plans to open 100 new tiny homes in 2 villages this fall in an effort to house the homeless. Mayor Bruce Harrell says the communities that will provide on-site services will be funded by nearly $6 million that was included in the city's 2025 budget. Good vibes in the Mariners clubhouse as the team welcomes back fan favorite Eugenio Suarez in a trade deal. He's having an all-star season with 36 home runs. M's insider Shannon Dreyer was on the team plane when he surprised the players last night.
You could hear the cheering. And then this was just the neatest thing. And it's so Gino Suarez. He proceeded to walk the entire length of the plane and hugged every person on it.
He will be in the lineup tonight when the M's host the Texas Rangers. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, and happy Thursday to all of you. I have to tell you, Angela, that last scenarios, I mean, people are still weighing in, and I think, what is your sense?
Oh, I think that the idea of spending more than $100,000 on a wedding is just a world that most people can't imagine. And so people have passionate opinions about it.
Yes.
I'm forgetting your name right. I don't have it in front of me, but he said 3 words. First world problems. What do you make of it?
But what I'm making of it is a lot of folks are saying, don't get too worked up about who gets to show up on the invitation.
Yes.
I think it's just be generous in that sense, too.
Yep.
So I would be curious. I would love to hear from Anxious and Anacortes as to if we helped or if we made it even worse.
Right.
But in case you missed that, you can always catch any segment of our show on our podcast, which is always available anywhere that you listen to podcasts, but usually about a half hour after the show, it is available there. As always, we invite you to join us on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And if you want to make sure that you have a smile on your face today, check out our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page, because right now all of you are sharing the pictures of your beloved pets, and they have just put me in such a great mood. So thank you to all of you who are doing that, and keep it up. But let's get going.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, any moment now you might be hearing the roar of the jets overhead because Seafair Weekend is back. The Navy Blue Angels are once again slicing through the skies over Lake Washington. They'll be flying their FA-18 Super Hornets up to 700 miles per hour. Love it or hate it, this is a tradition that has been part of Seattle summers for decades. And you and I have chatted about this, and there was a little clip that was picked up from our last conversation, and I thought it gave the impression that you were not in favor of Blue Angels, but that certainly is not the case.
That's far from the truth. I always try to to empathize with how people are feeling, where they're coming from, and I know you try to do the same.
Yes.
So I was just acknowledging that. Yes, I did have a chance to research the amount of fuel that's used. And yes, I did have a chance to research the impact on animals. Is there a middle ground that we can find? But the Blue Angels, as I mentioned before, I grew up in Pensacola, where they are based. We are a Navy family, a Navy and an Air Force family.
Yes.
And so that was just part of the culture. And then moving here, being able to see them every year around Seafair, I used to host the Seafair Festival and the parade, and I used to kind of commentate the air show. So for me, it just feels very personal, and it's just one of those traditions that I would have a hard time letting go of.
So in the spirit of hearing from other voices, because you know that there is this petition going around to stop the Blue Angels from performing, and one of the activists leading the charge is a former pilot himself, and he spoke recently with KIRO 7 TV.
As an Air Force flight surgeon, I flew upside down in the F-16. It's a lot of fun. That's not why the airplanes are built. They are built to drop bombs to kill people and to kill things, and when they fly over, it reminds people who are war refugees and veterans, that's how it was, and they don't like that memory.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with that as well. And so there's a part of me that feels a teeny bit of guilt that I think, okay, I still love them. If I'm able to be out in Lake Washington watching, I think that is just one of the highlights of the entire year.
Agreed. So here is the question. Right now, it ends up being a total of 3 shows, usually Thursday. Gosh, maybe even more than that. Like think we'll be able to see practicing today.
So from 11 to 1.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So my question is, do we reduce the number of days? That way it gives people who would like to get out not as much of a disruption.
See, and I don't know enough. They need to practice.
They do need to practice.
Yes.
But could, instead of doing 2 shows, one Saturday, one Sunday, maybe there's just 1 show after the...
Would that be enough? And I would be willing to compromise if you could continue this tradition.
Okay, here's my question.
Yes.
I sometimes will put earplugs in, and you literally can tune out the world.
Yes, you can.
People who get, like, if you know the exact time they're coming, could you wear earplugs or those noise-canceling headphones during that time?
Yes. And people can, and then there will be others who say, well, that's not my issue with it. My issue is, this is horrible for the environment, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there are always going to be some kind of issue when it comes to an event like this. It is a big event, and it does raise some questions, and I think it's important to have those conversations. But the conversation that really just also ticks me off is how we try to make this a political thing too, and make this about, and we mentioned it briefly last hour, but can we just agree not to make it this is about the left or right thing? And if you're talking in terms always of people on the left or just the left or the right, and always saying it with some derogatory statement that follows, I just feel like you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. We are much more complex people than that.
It would be like looking at someone and saying, oh, the blondes, all of that, right?
Yes.
Not taking time to know the person.
Yes.
And the diverse opinions that everyone has.
Exactly. But just a reminder, I-90 is not shutting down this year. It's been staying open since 2017. And then apparently the Museum of Flight parking lot along Boeing Field, that is where you can watch them take off. Friday viewing is free, but you would need a ticket to watch from there on Saturday or Sunday. I love the festivals that happen. I mean, the other thing, Seafair.
Yes.
And for me, and for those of us who've lived there a long time, I mean, this is just so quintessential Seattle summer.
Mm-hmm. I call it the summer climax, because then after Seafair ends, I kind of feel like, wait.
No,
it's in there.
I know. I'm not ready to say goodbye. Okay, well, speaking of summer events, did you go to Bite of Seattle?
It's interesting. My daughter worked Bite of Seattle, so I didn't attend. I did drop her off, and I got to taste some of the food because she brought stuff back.
Yes.
I do know. What were you going to say? And then I'll follow up.
My husband. Okay, here's my question. Has it basically outlived its importance in this region, the Bite of Seattle? That would be my ultimate question. My husband and a friend went, and then they invited my son, who lives very close to Seattle Center. So they went, and I heard the same complaint from them that I'm hearing from some other folks. So someone posted on TikTok that it just didn't feel like a local festival anymore.
Okay, now that Bite of Seattle's over, I think the number one complaint is that it's not local. Bite of Seattle is based out of California. Well, California people bought it, and it's like you guys know what I'm trying to say. But so now my thought is, what is the equivalent of Bite of Seattle but with local restaurant vendors?
And that's a good question. Now, I remember when the first Bite. When was the first Bite of Seattle? Sophia, can you help me? It was one of the earlier days of Bite of Seattle, and it was just a novel idea, and you could actually get a bite, and you could get multiple bites
of all these different restaurants
locally.
Yes, local. Yes,
and it was under $5 for the bites.
Yep.
And so the number one complaint I got from my husband, and they tried those alligator bites or whatever. They're like, "Oh my God, this is so expensive."
Yeah. Here's how you know something's changed. Fisher Scones wasn't there.
Ooh. Fisher Scones is everywhere.
Listen, when I started going to the Bite of Seattle, when I moved here in 2000, when did I move here? 2009. What's it, 2009? 2009. I used to go to the Bite of Seattle every year.
Yes.
Fisher Scones was part of the thing.
Yes.
So I said to my daughter, Ava, bring back Fisher Scones. And she's like, they're not. I'm like, how? And I said,
Well,
you know where they're
how?
at? The Bellevue Arts Festival is going on, so I wonder if they were there. And I know they can be in more than two places.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the first Bite of Seattle was in 1982.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the complaints that I also saw online, there were some other videos I wanted to play, but they were like literally yelling that our audio system could not play the levels, is that the food was super expensive. Like people were paying between like $30 and $60 for like a plate of food at the festival, and that doesn't make it feel like an accessible walk through, let me get a bite to eat.
No, I mean, you're getting one bite, and it's going to be an expensive bite. So the guy that you heard from on TikTok, though, he was correct, because a California-based company, Foodieland, did take over the Bite last year. And remember, was it last year or the year before? I did go to the Bite, and they were having all sorts of problems with the payment system. And I mean, they're trying different things. And it's just, to me, no pun intended, it has completely lost its hometown flavor.
Okay, here's what I want to know. You said your husband and some family attended.
Yes.
Had they gone to Bites of Seattle
Yes.
in the past?
Yes.
And what, other than the expense of it, what else did they notice that might be different?
Well, they didn't need to stay there that long. I mean, the biggest thing was the food choices weren't as great, and they were just really expensive. So you're not going to get a tasting of a bunch of things that are local.
I mean, there were some. I saw Carmelo's Tacos there. I saw
great.
on the list of the vendors.
Yes.
But most of them, I had no idea who.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the vendors, the local vendors, were complaining that these bigger national vendors, because of this California-based company that bought it, they got the high-profile areas where people could actually see them.
It's supposed to be Bite of Seattle.
Correct.
Bite of Seattle.
Well, so here's my question for you, though. What festivals do you still love going to? Or what events? I just went to one last night, and it reminded me, and I posted it on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page. U Village holds those concerts in the summer, free to everybody.
Those?
I love those.
Yeah.
And it makes it really accessible. I know they do it in Mill Creek, too. They have live bands, and just to see the joy. I mean, I'm kind of getting a little bit teary thinking about how much you talk about what kind of summer you're having. I'm looking around. I was able to take my brother-in-law who's visiting from Germany. And you see, and you know how you say the summer has been one of stress and anger because of everything that's going on. And one of the things that I was reminded of, seeing little kids dancing with their parents and different generations there in the beautiful summer evening at a free concert, and everyone just dancing around and not giving a hoot. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what is going. We're just going to let loose. And I loved it, and it didn't cost a thing.
Yes. Yes.
And I think we need more of those.
I agree. In terms of festivals, I'm loving some of the newer ones, like the Thing Festival, the Rimlinger Farms festivals that happen from Seattle Theater Group, where they bring in these musicians and they turn it into a big festival. It's so much fun. So Thing Festival happening in the summer. And let's see, I love the Juneteenth festivals.
Yes.
Those are a lot of fun. Seafair, and we have so many in the summer. But there are some really good ones that happen in the Central District of Seattle that it's all local people.
Rick in Monroe says Coopville Arts and Crafts Festival is still great and beautiful little town, too. And that's what I love, too.
Yeah, you go to these other towns.
Yeah, Robin Puyallup says, I haven't been to the Bite in more than 10 years. It's gotten too busy for me. And then Tamara in Tacoma said, this happened with the Bite at Tacoma. I did go to the first Bite at Tacoma. And she says it was mostly vendors from the fairs, not the Tacoma base, basically the restaurants from there. So, I mean, Bumbershoot. I remember when it was
to Bumbershoot all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And now, okay, so are we aging out?
Maybe. Are we aging out, Sophia? Are you going to any of the festivals? What's...
I mean, yeah, I love like festivals and events because I think it kind of goes back to the point of what you said. It's community building. And so the core of it is that they should be primarily free or low cost and accessible. And the events go back into the community supporting local business and things like that. But I think a lot of that is shifting. I've never been to like Bumbershoot or things like that, but
you're fairly newer here.
I'm fairly new to Seattle, but in things that I like to do, I do love community events. I went to the Summer Solstice Parade in Fremont this year.
Love that.
Yeah,
yes.
and I think events like that are very important to make you feel engaged with your community.
Isn't that the truth?
But if it doesn't feel local, then how does it feel like community engagement? It starts to feel a little bit more like LA, which you just have a bunch of events all the time. And when you go to an event in LA, it doesn't feel like community a lot of the time. And that's where it is for me. Like Bumbershoot sounds really great, but they do have
It's expensive now.
Yeah, it's expensive, and they have more mainstream artists attending, which is awesome. But I think the culture behind it is probably very different than what you may remember from years past.
Well, and a few people, or some of the long timers even before my time, because I moved here in 1988, they're pointing out that the original Bite started in Green Lake.
Really?
Yes, and I could see how that would be really fun too. But I think it just outgrew its space. I remember.
Yeah.
And then ended up. But it's a shame though, because I think that is something that is so important to local communities to have those festivals. But they can't be out of price for. I mean, basically out of reach.
Especially when traffic is worse than, like when I first moved here in 2009, traffic wasn't nearly as bad as it is now. And so if you're asking me to head to Seattle Center in the heart of Seattle, depending on where I live, that's a big, because parking is going to cost me. And now you're telling me the food is going to be really expensive. The barrier just becomes so high.
Yes.
To get down there.
This is so true. Okay, Laura in Pierce County points out that the Puyallup Farmers Market, the Eatonville Arts Festival in early August, and this year she's going to try to go to Yelms Jazz Festival. Again, all of those things, if you make it accessible to folks, I mean, that's what makes a community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's such an important part. And by the way, someone posted, there is no place that you can find a better summer than the Puget Sound region.
It's true.
I know you've lived elsewhere.
I've always said that whenever I hit the lottery or whatever and I start being able to go other places and live, I will always come back for Seattle area summers.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, Nick, I wanted to ask you too, because I know you spent a lot of time in Tacoma with the Rainiers, but have you enjoyed any festivals recently, or do you have a couple of favorites?
I mean, I've been to Bumbershoot a couple of times when I was younger in my early 20s, but I have noticed lately when I have come up to Seattle for, like concerts or events, like there is less of an emphasis on it, and I think there are less people that show up. It could just be the cost of living around here. People are just like, saving their money and not going out as much, but it could be a combination too of just like a safety aspect. People maybe don't feel as safe around like large events, with things that are going on. But yeah, I think there's just like a group of reasons why.
We can't lose that though. Big Jim says Arlington, Washington, the Skyfest or the Fly-In coming up is free and awesome.
Okay.
Love it.
That's great.
Okay, still ahead, we've got Agree to Disagree on the Gee and Ursula Show. Stay with us.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO Newsradio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Hey guys, it's Keith Dashafee from Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington, and we are not done celebrating 100 years of industry leadership. For a limited time, get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, or choose 60 months of 0% financing with no interest and equal payments. That's right, 100 years strong, and we're giving you more ways to save on the Pella difference. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaPNW.com. Thank you again for letting us serve you in the Northwest.
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
With Clear Choice Dental Implants, one day can make the difference between hiding your smile and saying cheese. Thanks to our dental implant experts, our one-day teeth transformation culminates in your Clear Choice Day, the day when you start loving your smile again. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today. And let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Majority qualify for same-day dental implants after doctor recommendation. Offices owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Hi, it's John Curley. I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. The option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to Longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
G. Scott here to talk about Sunbucks, a SNAP program that provides free, healthy food when school is out. If you could use the help, simply fill out the form online to determine eligibility for $120 of free food per child. If families had cards last year, they have been replenished. If families need new cards, they can call the Sunbucks call center. This message is presented by Safeway, where customers can use SNAP to save on produce and shop online. Visit hungerfreewa.org/summer EBT.
The insurance world, it can be confusing. So have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ever wanted to try cold plunge? Our cold plunge for a cause event is the perfect opportunity. Visit our showrooms in August where we have our new Vigor Cold Plunge displayed. Bring your suit and take the plunge. Olympic will donate $50 for every minute you soak to Charity Water. This wonderful nonprofit brings life-giving clean waters to communities around the world. Find details and sign up today at olympichottub.com.
Olympic Hot Tub.
KIRO Newsradio has your chance to win a pregame sideline experience with Gee Scott, plus 4 tickets to see the Seattle Seahawks take on the Kansas City Chiefs on August 15th. Head to the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab in the bottom of the right corner, and enter for your chance to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter on the KIRO Newsradio app, the better your odds. Do it every day, July 30th through August 4th. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Seattle police say a man has been arrested in connection with a deadly shooting earlier this week at the Northgate Transit Center. SPD's homicide unit and SWAT arrested the 28-year-old, according to KIRO 7 TV. On July 28th, the 48-year-old was shot in the back of the head. He died the next day. New numbers show Microsoft made more than $27 billion in profit last quarter, beating Wall Street expectations. The Redmond-based company tells the Seattle Times demand for artificial intelligence and cloud computing is driving the growth. Microsoft has laid off about 15,000 employees this year and poured billions into AI. Tomorrow is President Trump's tariff deadline. Today, an appeals court is hearing arguments challenging Trump's authority to tax imports. Trump cited a 1977 law that gives him emergency powers. Legal expert Jessica Levinson.
Does something like a trade deficit, a structural trade deficit, qualify as the type of unusual circumstance where the president can use this power?
Democratic lawmakers argue Congress is supposed to control the purse strings and the cost of the tariffs will be passed along to American consumers. CBS News has analyzed government data on arrests made by ICE in the first 5 months of the new Trump administration. CBS's Jared Ochecher.
ICE is picking people up and have cooperation with local law enforcement in states like Texas and Florida, but in states like California, they have a large immigrant population and they're doing at-large arrests.
A staff member at Kirkland's Juanita High School is out of the Northwest Detention Center after posting bond. Fernando Alves Rocha tells KIRO 7 TV.
And I really wish I could have filmed everything because they were very brutal, disrespectful.
Immigration agents detained him nearly 2 weeks ago, saying he overstayed his visa and is wanted in Brazil for theft. Washington and 20 other states are suing the USDA over food stamps. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay explains.
This is over a new rule requiring states to hand over personal data on millions of Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, recipients. The lawsuit claims the directive violates privacy laws and was enacted without public input. In Washington, more than 1.2 million people could be affected.
No public comment yet from the USDA. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 111 points, NASDAQ up 67. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, firefighters in Everett are on the US 2 trestle investigating reports of a person in the water. You are jammed up all along the trestle right now. All lanes are blocked on State Route 18 eastbound at the Tiger Mountain Summit. In the Seattle area, express lanes are open northbound because of construction, so travel times southbound are lagging. Alderwood to South Center on I-405 and Linwood to Seattle on I-5, both about half an hour longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies with highs in the low 80s. It's 71 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:33. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And it is time for us to agree to disagree, which is brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Alrighty. Well, kids use it for homework. Boomers use it to prove an outrageous point, and everyone else, well, they're hoping to use it just to get by. What I'm talking about here is AI, and most people are, they're wanting to use it to help answer a quick question, maybe help you write an Instagram caption, find a recipe. But when is using AI as a tool going too far? Personal relationships were always grounded by words. Writing a birthday card or writing out a letter can be very tiresome, but also it's supposed to come from the heart, but sometimes if you're under a time crunch, you need to get that done. I wonder if using AI as a tool in personal letters is okay. And if we're talking about things like a wedding speech or things in which you're describing a personal relationship with someone, is it out of line to use AI or is it okay?
Start with you, Angela.
No, it's not out of line. Because you can tell the AI everything you're feeling. You can say, I really love this person. I think they're very kind. You can literally tell AI, here are 3 things I love about this person. And I want to, you basically just are able to talk it out about how you feel. And then they put it into a nice bow. Now, so I have no problem with that. personally, boys, if y'all could see the side eye that Sophia is giving me.
I know. I want to keep going. Keep going, Angela.
Now, in my personal life, the way I've used it is I've set a boundary, almost like people have boundaries for alcohol. I have boundaries for AI.
Yes.
So I always start the first draft. I start the first draft always. So recently I had to do an email to someone that I was angry with. So I did the first draft angry email. And I said, AI, please make this more professional. Like, say the same thing and nicer. And it was very lovely.
Oh, nice.
It was lovely.
So then did you use it verbatim after
I think I made
put
a
it through
couple
AI?
little minor thingies, but it was pretty good. Yeah. So that's my boundary. I start the first draft and I'll use AI as a collaborator for specific things I need.
Okay.
But let's say you're starting from scratch. You're on a time crunch and you're like, I need to write something to someone and it's a personal relationship, but you just can't come up with the words of what to say to them. So you turn to AI.
You're talking to the queen of words. I wouldn't do that. But here's the thing I would say, the caveat to all of this, is we are starting to see research that this could turn our brains to mush.
Oh my gosh,
if we use it too much. So I say, like any tool that's out there, we have to kind of set our own boundaries. And if you find yourself stepping over the boundaries, then you might have a problem.
Yes,
Ursula,
I think you're absolutely right. No, I think you nailed it. Though, like you said, you're the queen of words, and I take great pride in what I write. I think my written word is much better than my spoken word. And so I take great pride in that. And there's a little bit of my own pride that thinks, no, I'm relying on this tool. But on the other hand, I've also seen the great things that it can do. And as you said, it's only as good as what you put into it.
It's so true. It's so true.
Because as we find out on a daily basis, ChatGPT or AI, you have to fact check. So when it comes to our kind of work, you've got to fact check, otherwise you're in trouble. But if it can inspire you or give you a start, or you're putting the input and then it gives you a start, I think it's great. But I will always defer or prefer that if I can do it by scratch.
It's your ego.
Yeah, it is my ego. It is my ego.
No, I would say it's personal pride.
Yes.
All right, Sophia, what are your boundaries? You didn't say your boundaries.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've just been recently, I would say, warming up to using it more as a tool, and it is very helpful. I would say for like personal letters or for things if I'm writing to another person, I love to write, and I think not using that mush and still having some sort of cognition to come up with your own thoughts and ideas, I think is so important. I was having a conversation with one of my friends recently because which sounds terrible to say, but she was texting this guy that she was seeing, and he was very emotionally intelligent with the way he was articulating the way he was feeling over words. And she was like, look at this great text message he sent me. And I looked over and I was like, can I read over it to verify that this doesn't look like an AI message? Because that's starting to become a thing.
That's so true.
Where people will be running responses through AI.
How do I tell this girl I'm not that into her without
if it's too perfect?
And the thing is, I think maybe working in, an industry that's surrounded by writing, I feel like I can very easily recognize when something is drafted from AI and not edited, right? The big thing is that you think about these people running these texts through and they're not editing the messages. And so I actually think this man was being genuine, believe it or not. But I told my friend, I was like, I hate to say this, but I think we need to look over the structure of the text because I can't trust that he's actually genuinely expressing his feelings to you in a mature way. Like we have to verify that he's not using AI. But then the argument is it bad if he uses AI?
What if he did? If he meant what he said, then
it's a tool.
What does it matter?
If he's genuine about it.
If he's genuine, but
new
then
2025 problem.
New 2025 problem, but I don't know. Like, do you want to be with a person who can't write? But
don't use AI and text us. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. What do you think?
Yeah, but your answers made me happy. I was like, I'm with two journalists that have been in the industry longer than I've been alive, so y'all better be writing. Anyway, some other things I was thinking about today is we've been talking a lot about pets, and everyone was sending in their images of pets, very adorable pets, and it seems like a lot of Gee and Ursula listeners are pet parents, and my question is, should we give pet parents the same grace that we give parents of children. Now, hear me out. When someone has a kid, if someone's like, hey, I can't make it to your party, I don't have a sitter, no one's watching my child, I have to stay back. There are a lot of people with pets that are very needy, and they might say the same thing. Are we allowed to give them that same level of grace, or, do they kind of have to suck it up because it's a pet?
Can I jump in?
Yes.
They already get more grace than parents of kids.
Ooh,
I've seen corporate
sweeping
situations
statement.
where if someone has to go walk their dog, great, go walk your dog. But if you say, oh, my kid is sick, oh, you're out of here.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm so serious. It has definitely become normalized that people are less tolerant of issues with kids and more tolerant when it's your pet.
Do you think that's Seattle-centric? Seattle area-centric because we have more dogs than we do have kids in the city?
Maybe. I don't know. So you sounds like you disagree. Like what?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I will say, and I'm okay calling it a pet parent. I think that was Mike Lewis I worked with who was like, oh, can we stop calling them pet parents and referring to your pets as kids? But I understand where people have so much love for the animals. And check out our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page.
Awesome.
You'll see. I mean, that just exploded. And same on our text line. People have. I've seen more people's pets than I've seen their kids. That said, I don't think I put it still on equal footing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What
text
do you
us,
say?
though.
Oh, Nick is like doing the Oscar
Yeah, he's
music.
doing it. Yeah, exactly. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We'll share your text messages and our words to live by coming up next.
You listen to John Curley every afternoon? What does John listen to every morning?
Here's how I start my morning. Get my pot of coffee going, and then I turn on Seattle's Morning News. I listen to Charlie and Amanda. This is how I prep for my show, because I know those guys have, hundreds of years of experience, although Amanda looks better than Charlie. I'm going to get the straight news.
Experience matters. Seattle's Morning News, weekday mornings 6 to 9 on KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Hey, golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Imagine waking up and not needing to rush. No commute, no emails, no boss. Just coffee, sunlight, and the freedom to choose. That's the power of tax lien investing. It's been around for over 200 years, used by banks, hedge funds, and the wealthy. And now, finally, it's being taught right here in Seattle. It's secure, predictable, passive income backed by real estate and mandated by state law. And it pays you, sometimes 15 to 35% returns. You don't need to own property. You just need to see how it works and how to do it right. We've taught over 100,000 students, and we'll teach you for free at a live masterclass right here in Seattle. If you're ready to start building real wealth through tax lien investing, this is it. Text LEARN to 26022 to reserve your free seat. That's LEARN to 26022. But hurry, seats are limited. Text LEARN to 26022.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain.
Dayandnight.net.
The old throne's not too well, and ooh, does it smell?
Dayandnight.net.
Slow drains, backed up toilet, is your main drain or sewer clogged? Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining from a small fix to a major repair, our sewer and camera inspection will show exactly where the problem is. I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. Give us a call or visit
Dayandnight.net.
I guarantee whether Day and Night is your first choice or your smart second opinion, we'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
If you have a drain that's slow or clogged, call Day and Night. Now you'll save $50 off any drain cleaning. Slow or clogged drains? You know where to go.
Dayandnight.net.
Saturday, August 23rd, enjoy the 30th birthday bash for University Place at Cirque Park, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Bands all day, over 50 vendors, beer garden, and family zone. Don't miss it August 23rd. Special thanks to Honest Home Solutions.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
And just like that, we are at the end of our Thursday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee will be back tomorrow, and you will be in as well.
That's right.
I am
yes.
taking the day off.
Okay, got it. Well,
Yes.
best of both worlds.
Oh my gosh, I have just enjoyed working with you, and I know.
Same.
Oh, we need to promote because I think we have it confirmed. Sophia, tell me if I'm right, but we are going to have Seattle's mayor on tomorrow.
We are going to
I'm
have.
bummed that I'm going to. Yeah, Mayor Bruce Harrell is going to join us tomorrow in the 10 o'clock hour.
Okay, great.
So you have that to look forward to, and it's going to be a fresh Friday. So I'm jealous of all of you working tomorrow. But let's start with some of our text messages.
And first, a quick correction: Fresh Fridays.
You're on that camp. Oh.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, yeah,
okay,
exactly.
On the Otter lawsuit, Max in the 425, she should lose. She moved on to the water into the otter's habitat. Let her deal with that BS.
Mark in Nisqually says the main fact is that the animals will always be the losers and humans will always win.
Nazi in sorry if I got your name wrong, in Port Orchard. It's called nature. Respect it and you won't have problems. Lady just wants an easy payday. Y'all are cold, man.
Rick in Kent says, is it a coyote problem or new home development projects taking over the land in which the wild animals call home? And I agree with that. That's kind of why I feel that way about that otter situation.
Okay, well, on the Sydney Sweeney ad, Christy on Bainbridge, people are always looking to be outraged and offended. So ridiculous. This ad is a play on words. Jeans and jeans with a G-E and yes.
Jesus in 316 says the language used directly states that white, thin, blue-eyed genetics are more beautiful. I don't think it was intentional. It was just stupid.
206 says, when you lead into the Sydney Sweeney story, I was like, meh. When you played the commercial, it sounded like an ad for Aryan supremacy. Having studied a lot of history, it is what it reminded me of.
And then Ed and Ballard said, I'm really disappointed with y'all's take on the Sydney Sweeney ad. And by the way, Ed and Ballard is always so complimentary.
Never complains,
no.
right?
So he said, I can't recommend YouTuber Leisha Miller and her video, The Eugenics of It All, enough. It covers the USA's history of eugenics, which is extensive and still happening, and she does it in only 33 minutes. Her video also explains why this ad is not a dog whistle, but a foghorn. I wish I could explain over the text, but this ad is vile and straight eugenics. This is such a terrifying time to be disabled.
On the elite school, Brown University making a deal with Trump, Kerry and Bonnie Lake. Universities need to be reaching out to their donors to make up these dollars. They could crowdfund this in under a week or reorganize their research in coordination with other universities around the world. This is a ridiculous waste of resources.
Ernie and Kent says the question should be, is it okay for a president to threaten anyone to do exactly what he says, or you will be punished? Why do we accept this?
John from Camino Island, we shouldn't be giving any federal government money to private schools.
That's a whole nother debate. That should be an agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of summer are you having? Corey on YouTube says, our youngest out of 3 just moved out, so this is our summer of relaxing with no kids. Congratulations. I remember, okay, I know what you're...
Feeling sad.
I know. That was my most bummer of a summer when our last son moved out, our youngest. And you're about to face that. Wait, she has one more year.
She has one more year.
But I remember that last year was just... It's a year of melancholy for me.
Yeah, year of melancholy.
Yeah, okay, keep going.
Let's see. What kind of summer are you having? Isabella 253. It's a countdown summer, counting down the days till fall.
No, I'm not ready. Eileen in Bremerton says it's a summer of husbands spending money. Ugh.
Carrie and Bonnie Lake, wise here. She goes, I'm right there with you both, compartmentalizing for the win, trying to make good memories with my grown-up kids while also volunteering and protesting and lamenting. There's so much good and to be grateful for all while the terrible things go on. There's a great t-shirt. The horrors persist, but so do I.
Oh, that is
I love that.
A great saying. On the wedding scenario, okay, wouldn't you say this was one of the scenarios that has gotten the most responses?
You all are fired up over this one.
Yes. So 253 says, anxious, needs to get over herself. Put the groom's parents' names on the invite. $150,000 is ridiculous. She's made that decision to pay that much. Don't punish the groom's family.
Tyson from 808. When it comes to weddings, parents and in-laws often forget whose special day it is. It's the bride and groom's special day, regardless of who or how much money was spent.
Anonymous says, I have a son getting married this month. We have helped a lot with costs, but not $100,000. It hasn't even crossed my mind to ask or care how much our soon-to-be daughter-in-law's family has contributed. We're just thrilled they found each other. Zero cares about if our name is on the invite.
Jody and Mount Vernon, put their name on the invitation. Don't start their marriage with something as petty as that.
On the Blue Angels and the Seafair debate, Nick in the 206 says, I feel like I'm probably the furthest left person that listens to this show, and I love the Blue Angels.
Kevin and Black Diamond, the same people that complain about the Blue Angels being bad for the environment are probably still getting on airplanes and going on vacation. They still drive their cars to work. They're probably out in their boats on the lake. People really like to pick and choose what affects our environment. The amount of commercial planes that fly every day to take people on vacations, way worse than the environment than on the exhibition by the Blue Angels.
That's true, too. On summer festivals, Rachel in the 425 says, Festival Sundiata presents Black Arts Fest. That's on August 23rd through the 24th at the Armory Food and Event Hall and Mural Amphitheater. And the festival is part of the Seattle Center Festal series, and it is free and open to the public.
I've been to that one. It's amazing. And she said she's singing that Sunday at 3 p.m. So Rachel on Sunday the 24th at 3 o'clock.
Very cool.
Yep. Rob and Puyallup, I haven't been to the Bite in more than 10 years. It's gotten too busy for me. I miss the days of the cheap Bite and showcasing local restaurants. Is it time? Do we have to transition now? Do we have time? Okay, all right. It's time for Ursula's Words to Live By.
And I love this from Anonymous. It's an anonymous author, but staying positive does not mean you have to be happy all the time. It means, though, that even on those really hard days, you know that there are better ones coming.
Hope. I love that. It's hope.
Yes,
beautiful.
For sure.
Thank you so much. This was beautiful. And I can't believe the time is over.
I know.
It's ladies' night.
Yes,
okay.
It's been so much fun, Angela. Thank you so much. Sophia, fantastic job all week long. And they're in great hands for tomorrow. And again, Mayor Bruce Harrell, Seattle Mayor, joining us at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So you'll not want to miss that. Nick.
Well, do we need to put a label on these summer days like the Durkin branded Days of Love that didn't feel that way? Well, if the theme were picked today, it's all about the pets, where a lot of people showed their furry friends without regret. And I'd rather have a theme of pets than overpaid events like a recent Seattle biter weddings making heavy dents. Call it a summer of spending if that's the case. Try and keep it under $150K if you can.
Oh, no. I think we're probably making
Clever.
anxious and Anacortes even more anxious. Nick, always great to have you wrap up our show. Another great show is coming up. Jake and Spike are ready to keep you entertained throughout the afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday and stay cool.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
You put a woman in front and a man behind. I heard a woman shout out, "Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?"
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their